the person to feel the mild vibration of the mantra. And beyond that, we have the Sanskrit chanting as well after each and every asanas. By chanting these, it will reach your muscle memory and bhai memory in a complete different way. And all these asanas are directly revealed by Bhagavan Paramashivam himself in the Vedas and Agamas. And now the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving this science of Nithyananda Yoga in this Paramashivoham sessions and teaching it across the world. As now we have now as we're going to begin the first asana. The first asana is Sukhasana. Now sit in a comfortable cross-leg position with your head, neck and spine in a straight line. Bring your index and thumbs together and place them on your respective knees. Engage all three bandhas as you're going to perform Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha, performed as Mahamudra Bandha. Perform Samana Pranayama as you breathe and see your heat flames flowing through the spine. Visualize Paramashivam at your inner space as you internally chant the japa Soham.
तत्सुखासनमित्युक्तमशक्तस्तत्समाचरेत् आसनं विजितं येन जितं तेन जगत्त्रयम्.
The next posture is Parvatasana. Now bring your legs into the Padmasana posture. Bring your palms together and raise them up above your head in Anjali Mudra. Keep your elbows straight and again perform all three bandhas. Mahamudra Bandha. Continue to perform Samana Pranayama as you visualize yourself as Mount Kailash.
अथ वक्षे महादेव पर्वतासनमङ्गलं यत्कृत्वा स्थिररूपी स्यात् षट्चक्रादिविलोपनम्.
The next posture is Halipavasana. Now bring the soles of the feet together in front. Hold the left hand by the right behind your back and place the forehead on the ground behind your heels. Perform again Mahamudra Bandha as you gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on your inner space.
पूरवविधियाहु मे जानो उभयपगतली सम्पुटठानो.
The next posture is Nagi Pavasana. Now keep your soles of the feet together and forehead on the ground behind your heels. Stretch your hands out in front of the feet and cup the palms, making like a halo. Gaze to the nose and visualize yourself as a snake as you perform this asana.
पूरवविधिपर्यागाने नीचौहौ वीकहु निभनास्यौ लगाई.
The next posture is Kokilasana. Now hold onto the big toes with the index and middle fingers. Stretch your legs straight out and upwards and cross them into the Padmasana posture. Lean forward or down onto your elbows and engage all three bandhas, performing Mahamudra Bandha as you visualize yourself as a bird.
पूरवविधिपर्यागाने नीचौहौ वीकहु निभनास्यौ लगाई.
The next posture is Nithyananda. Now place one ankle on top of your opposite knee and hold onto your opposite elbows. Engage all three bandhas and now start rotating your arms in a circular motion and repeat this on the other side as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
घोड़ा बामा पादकी आशमाहिली सोजे दक्षचरण गोबारलौता परिकुल्भ समोज.
The next posture is Gajasana. Now press onto your hands onto the ground, lifting the hips up high. Then lower your head to the chest, scooping the body forward and down again and again. Do this repeatedly as you visualize yourself as an elephant.
निब्जं पादाग्रे भूमौ कृत्वा लम्बी भूयामस्तकाग्रे निधाय.
The next posture is Rakshasana. From the same position, alternate start pressing the heel of one foot onto the ground while lifting the other heel up. Repeat this again and again as you visualize yourself as a bear.
एकैकं पादमाकुञ्च गजासनं कुर्यात् वृक्षासनं भवति.
The next posture is Vaishyasana. Now stand tall on the tips of your big toes with all of the toes raised off the ground. Keep your spine straight and now bring your middle index and ring fingers to your heart center, performing Hridaya Mudra. As you visualize Swamiji during a space.
केशेन पादयुगलं बद्ध्वा तिष्ठेत् अधोमुखः.
Now we'll be entering to the first Karana, the Urdhva Karana. As mentioned earlier, these are the traditional dance movement revealed by Bhagavan Paramashivam himself. Now stand with your heels touching toes facing outwards at a 45-degree angle. And keep your knees bent. Remember, this is the posture of Arimandi. Now keep both the hands at the chest, elbows parallel to the ground. Now start to twist one knee towards the center and then raise it up and back across the body to the original position. Simultaneously, as your leg raises, follow the movement with your respective hand, raising it up and across your body. Repeat this on the other side. The next asana is Balalingasana. Now interlace your fingers from outside and in and hold onto the knee, pulling it up towards the chest in Sarvashankari Mudra. Keep your spine straight as you perform this amount of pranayama as you visualize yourself caressing a baby.
एकं जानु उरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
The next posture is Padapidnasana. Now take one foot and pull it behind towards the buttocks, holding with both of your hands. Keep your spine straight and engage all three bandhas, performing Mahamudra bandha as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
स्थित्वैकस्मिन् पादतले कराभ्यां वेष्टयेत् तनुम्.
The next posture is Natarajasana. With your respective hand, hold under the sole of your foot from the inside. Extend the opposite hand forward with your index and thumbs together in Bindu Mudra. Visualize yourself as Lord Nataraja as you perform this asana.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिम्बीरभद्रकम्.
Now repeat Balalingasana on the other side.
एकं जानुरसि आलिङ्ग्य स्थातव्यं बाललिङ्गनं भवति.
Repeat Padapidadasana on the other side.
स्थित्वैकस्मिन् पादतले कराभ्यां वेष्टयेत् तनुम्.
And then finally repeat Natarajasana on the other side.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिम्बीरभद्रकम्.
Now we'll move on to the next Karana, the Ardharechita Karana. Again, get to the position of Arimandi, which is the heels together, toes pointing outwards, the knees bent. Now bring your right foot behind the other with your toes down and heel up. Keep your left hand at the chest and extend the opposite arm out wide like a pendulum and bring it back towards your chest. While your arms swing, smooth the fingers one by one inwards towards the palm and then outwards. Place the right hand over the nose as you uncross the ankles and repeat this on the other side. The next is skeleton dance. Now visualize yourself as a skeleton and start shaking your body intensely for the next few seconds. The next up is Kadichana Karana. Again, get to the position of Arimandi, which is the heels together, toes pointing outwards and knees bent. Bring your hands up above your head with your arms crossed and palms facing backwards. Move your hips to one side and simultaneously uncross the arms wide up above your head. Come back to the beginning position and repeat this on the other side. The next posture is Tadasana. Now stand tall on the tips of your toes and raise your hands up above your head, keeping it beside your ears. Engage all three bandhas, performing Mahamudra bandha. Visualize yourself as a palm tree as you internally chant the new japa Shivoham.
महामुद्राबद्ध कोनो ताड़ासन विभेदकान्.
The next posture is Uttanasana. From a standing position, lean forward and down, bring your hands flat onto the ground. Engage all three bandhas and bring your forehead towards your knees. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on your inner space as you internally chant the path Shivoham.
महामुद्राबद्ध कोनो ताड़ासन विभेदकान्.
The next posture is Tarakshvasana. Now keep your hands flat under the ground, shoulder width apart. Then step your feet back, keeping the toes onto the ground. Tuck the chin to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha, and start rotating your head from side to side as you visualize Swamiji at Tiredness space.
गजासनवस्थित्वा मस्तकं वारं वारं दक्षिणकुक्षिं सव्यकुक्षिं नयेत्.
The next posture is Bhujangasana. Now lower your entire body down onto your stomach and keep your toes pointed backwards. Keep your hands next to the chest and raise the head up using the strength of your lower back. Open your mouth wide and inhale through the hollow of your throat in Bhujanghani Mudra as you visualize yourself as a cobra.
अंगुष्ठनाभिपर्यन्तम् अधो भूमौ विनिन्यसेत्.
The next posture is Sashasana. From a tall plank position, which is on your hands and your feet, alternate, start bringing one knee in towards your chest, back and forth. Do this again and again as you visualize Swamiji on Tiredness space.
गजासनसंस्थितौ जानुद्वयमाकुञ्च्य वारं वारं कर्तव्यं शशासनं भवति.
The next posture is Rathasana. Again, from the tall plank position, place one foot in between the two hands. Simultaneously jump one foot back and bring the other in between the two hands, alternating this posture again and again as you visualize yourself as a chariot.
गजासनसंस्थितौ एकैकं पादं पुरोमार्गेण भ्रामयित्वा कर्तव्यं रथासनं भवति.
The next posture is Virabhadrasana. Now keep one foot flat on the ground, toes pointing forwards and the knee bent to the 90-degree angle. Extend the other leg back, keeping the knee straight and toes pointed outwards. Raise your arms up parallel. Pull your stomach in and up and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Lord Virabhadra.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च.
Perform Virabhadrasana on the other side.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च.
The next posture is Vrikshasana. Now stand tall and bring your one foot on your thigh. Bring your palms together and raise them up above your head, keeping your elbows straight. Pull your stomach in and up as you perform Uddiyana Bandha and Moola Bandha and gaze forward as you visualize yourself as a tree.
वामोरुमूलदेशे च याम्यं पादं निधायतु.
The next posture is Garudasana. Now stand tall and place one foot at the opposite hip. Bring your palms together in front of your heart center in Namaskara Mudra. Make sure you're keeping the standing leg as straight as possible as you visualize yourself as Lord Garuda.
गरुडासनमावक्षे येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत्.
Now perform Vrikshasana on the other side.
वामोरुमूलदेशे च याम्यं पादं निधायतु.
And perform Garudasana on the other side.
गरुडासनमावक्षे येन ध्यानं स्थिरं भवेत्.
The next posture is Trikonasana. Now stand and step one leg far back, keeping your front toes pointing forward and back toes facing sideways. Keep your arms straight and bring your front arm down towards the ground beside your foot, while the other arm extend towards the sky. Visualize yourself as a triangle as you internally chant the japa Shivoham.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
Perform Trikonasana on the other side.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
The next Karana is Nikotaka Karana. What is this wrong thing? Just perform Nikotaka Karana. The next posture is Angushthasana. Now lower on your tips of your toes, placing your perineum on back of your heels. Keep your knees and palms together and now place your hands in Namaskara Mudra to your heart center. Engage Moola Bandha as we're going to perform the new pranayama, the Brahmari pranayama, which is buzzing like a bee. As you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space, internally chanting the new japa Sadashivoham.
कबन्धासनमित्याहुः गोरक्षासनमेव च.
The next posture is Saurasana. From your tips of your toes, extend one leg straight out, heel down and toes up. Keep your fingers down onto the ground by the sides, palms facing forward in Varamudra. Visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
प्रसार्य एकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य त्वेकपादकम्
The next posture is Viduranasana. As you're sitting now, extend one leg straight out with your heel down and toes up. With your respective hand, reach forward and down, hold onto your big toe with your index and middle fingers and prana mudra. Keep your opposite hand on your back heel as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
गुल्फस्थितो पादमेकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संसृज्य तत्करेण
Perform Saurasana on the other side.
प्रसार्य एकं पादतलं संस्थाप्य त्वेकपादकम्
Perform Viduranasana on the other side.
गुल्फस्थितो पादमेकं प्रसार्य तत्पादाग्रं संस्पृश्य तत्करेण
The next posture is Brahmajarangushasana. Now keep your toes onto the ground and place your perineum on top of your heels. Keep a gap between your legs and tilt your head down. Gaze to the gap between the palms as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
दोबू करके उभय हथेली कोरवारली मैले भेली.
The next posture is Kapilasana. Now place your knees onto the ground with your toes tucked behind. Rest your hands on top of the thighs. Pull your stomach in and up as you perform Uddiyana Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as Sage Kapila Muni.
उभय पगदली समटरावे तिनकी माहिली कोर मिलावे.
The next posture is Bhadra Gorakasana. Be in the same position. The switch the gaze from your tip of your nose to your third eye as you perform this asana.
दोबू पगदली संपट करे एडी मेड के ढिंग दरे.
The next posture is Suryasana. Sit with your toes tucked in perineum place on top of your raised heel. Make sure your knees is off the ground. Bring your thumbs and little fingers together, opening up the palms in Padma Mudra, resembling a lotus flower. Raise your arms straight up above your head and gaze to the hole between the palms as you visualize Lord Surya onto your inner space.
एडी दो गुदातरिया ने फना पानी बैठक पुनिठाने.
The next posture is Mandukasana. Sit with your toes flat and perineum on your heels. Keep your hands on top of the knees and lift the tongue up against the roof of the mouth, performing Manduki Mudra. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a frog.
पादतलौ पृष्ठदेशे अंगुष्ठे द्वे च संस्पृशेत्.
The next posture is Uttara Mandukasana. Now keep your hands on your back, holding the head with your elbows. Lift the tongue up against the roof of the mouth, again performing Manduki Mudra and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a frog.
मंडुकासन मध्यस्थं कुर्बराभ्यां धृतविश्रः एतद्भेकवदुत्तानम् एतदुत्तानमण्डुकम्.
The next posture is Simhasana. Now cross your ankles and sit on your feet. Keep your knees wide, fingers spread on top. Open your mouth wide and start to stick out your tongue and exhale forcefully. Gaze to the tip of the nose and repeat this several times as you visualize yourself as a lion.
दक्षिणं सव्यगुल्फेन दक्षिणेन ततेतरम्.
The next posture is Bhadrasana. Now sit with your heels under the perineum and keep your knees wide. Cross your hands behind your back and hold onto your big toes in Prana Mudra. Perform Jalandhar Bandha and Moola Bandha as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
गुल्फौ च वर्षणस्याधो विक्रमेण समाहितः.
The next posture is Kaka Bhushandhyasana. Now squat and keep your feet flat onto the ground and keep your knees open wide. Bring your arms in and around your back and interlace your fingers behind in Parashamudra. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as a crow. They stop sleeping, man. I can't.
प्रथमे वैसक उगटठाने दोवु हातपगम वीच आने.
The next posture is Kanipavasana. Now place your palms onto the floor, shoulder width apart. Bring your knees on the back of your arms towards your armpit. Lean your chin forward and down and gaze ahead. So slowly lift the feet off the ground as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
होई तो आछी होई.
The next posture is Kapaliyasana. Now place your hands under the ground, shoulder width apart. The next posture is Kapalayasana. Now place your hands under the ground, shoulder width apart. Bring top of your head onto the ground, forming a triangle between your hands and your head. Bring your knees under the elbows, hips over your shoulders, and straighten your legs up. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji entering a space as you perform this asana.
शीशी शीशा धरती टेकी पकदो वो मिलिवा ऊंचा कुकरे.
Now you can slowly relax yourself. The next posture is Parshamayurasana. Squat on your toes with your legs together. Twist your body and place both your hands to one side. Align your elbows with your knee and your hip. Lean onto your arms and get your balance. Extend your legs to one side and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a peacock.
मयूरम दंडवत कुर्यान माजूरम दंड नामकम.
Now again perform Parshamayurasana on the other side.
मयूरम दंडवत कुर्यान माजूरम दंड नामकम.
The next posture is Bhairanganathasana. Now place both hands onto the ground, shoulder width apart. Stretch the legs back straight into Tarakshvasana. Step one foot outside of your respective shoulder, bringing the foot between your hands. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Lord Kalabhairava.
आसन को गुण पीती जाई.
Now perform Bhairanganathasana again on the other side.
आसन को गुण पीती जाई.
The next posture is Unmukha From Tarakshvasana, which is in your hands and your feet, place your forearms onto the ground and walk your feet forward, raising your hips up. Lift the chest and head up and gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji entering a space.
भून्यस्तौ जानुनी हस्तौ चतुष्पदम वाङ्मुखम.
The next posture is Vasishthasana. From Tarakshvasana, which is in your hands and your toes, rotate your body onto one hand and raise the opposite hand up. Keep the balance of your hand directly beneath your shoulder. Raise your hips and gaze towards the sky as you visualize yourself as Sage Vasishtha.
ऊर्ध्व कुक्कुट वासिष्ठ मरीचि हल मत्स्यकम.
Now again perform Vasishthasana on the other side.
ऊर्ध्व कुक्कुट वासिष्ठ मरीचि हल मत्स्यकम.
The next posture is Anjaneyasana. Sit with your legs stretched, toes pointing up. Bring your hands under your buttocks, palms facing up. Keep your spine straight, elbows close to your body. Now tuck the chin to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize yourself as Lord Hanuman as you internally chant the new japa, Mahasadaशिवोहम.
दोवू कर की उभय हथेली कोरवार ली मैले भेली.
The next posture is Paschimottanasana. With your legs stretched out, bend from the waist and hold onto your big toes with your index and middle fingers in Prana Mudra. Bring the chest to the thighs, head to the knees. Engage all three bandhas as you visualize Mamaji onto your inner space.
जानो परिललाटन्तो पश्चिमं तानमुच्यते.
The next posture is Ugrasana. Now with your legs straight and apart, clasp your hands behind the head and lean your chest forward and down. Bringing the head to the knees, engage all three bandhas, Mahamudra bandhas. Visualize Kali onto your inner space.
स्वपाणिभ्यां दृढं धृत्वा जानोपरि शिरोन्यसेत्.
The next posture is Marichyasana. Sit with your legs extended. Bring one heel to the ground with your knee raised. Reach your arm in and around the raised knee and clasp your hands behind your back. Bring the chest to the thigh, head to the knee. As you visualize yourself as Sage Marichi, remember, continue to internally chant the japa Mahasadarshivoham.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
The next posture is Mahamudrasana. From Marichyasana, let the knee fall to the side of the ground. Reach and hold the front foot, keeping the legs straight. Bring the chest forward and down. Engage all three bandhas. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे.
Now perform Marichyasana on the other side.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकम्.
And then Mahamudrasana on the other side.
महामुद्रां प्रवक्ष्यामि तन्त्रेऽस्मिन् मम वल्लभे.
The next posture is Bhadrasana too. Sit and bring the soles of the feet together with your heels close to the perineum. Keep your knees wide and hold the feet firmly. Maintain a straight spine and gaze to the tip of the nose. You are going to be performing the new pranayama, the Rechaka pranayama, which is inhale deeply and hold the breath, then focus on a slow, controlled exhalation out of the nose. Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
गुल्भौ तु वृषणस्यादः सीवन्त्याः पार्श्वयोः क्षिपेत्.
The next posture is Guhalipavasana. From Bhadrasana, extend your feet away from your body. Keep your toes together, heels apart and knees open. Place your hands on your respective knees and tuck the chin to the chest. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
पूर्व चरपट चौक कख्यो सोजी वाही विधि जो कीजे सोजी.
The next posture is Joni Asana. Sit and keep the soles of the feet together, heels close to the perineum. Hold on the soles of the feet and lean forward and down. Bring your forehead to the feet and gaze to the tip of the nose. Now visualize Yoni Mandala as it is now projected onto your screens. Continue to breathe in the Rechaka Pranayama as you perform this asana.
दोबू पकतली संपट करे एड़ी मेड़ के ढिंग दरे.
The next posture is Midaki Pavasana. Now sit and keep your heels together, toes apart and knees wide. Lean forward and down and extend your hands out wide, palms down on the ground. Bring your forehead to the ground behind your heels and gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
पूरव विधि परिपकतली संपूर्ण शोल एड़ी मिली राशे.
The next posture is Siddha Samadhi Asana. Now sit and keep your toes together, heels apart. Bring your arms below the shins, extend out and keep your palms facing up. Bring your forehead to the ground above the feet and bring the toes near to your throat. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Lord Surya onto your inner space.
दोबू पकतली संपट करे सोले मेढ़ आगा में धरे.
The next posture is Chinaki Pavasana. Now sit and keep your heels together, toes apart. Hold the feet and open them up like a book. Bring the soles towards the sky, keeping the back of your hands onto the ground. Press your elbows onto the thighs towards the knee and gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
दो पकागी एड़ी धरती मगिवा मेढ़ लगावे.
The next posture is Charapada Chokasana. Now sit and bring the soles of the feet together, heels and the perineum, knees to the ground. Place your hands onto the knees and gently press them down. Pull the stomach in and up and gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
दोबू पकतली संपुट धारे आगा ने कर जा रे पसारे.
The next posture is Bhairavasana. Now sit and bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Now slowly lift the heels up and bring the toes down onto the ground. Keep the knees onto the ground. Place your hands in Bindu Mudra on top of your respective knees. Pull the stomach in and up as you perform Udyana Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Lord Kala Bhairava.
गुल्फौ संपीड्य जान्योन्यं व्युत्क्रमेणोत्थितं शनिः. जान्वोः पार्श्वगतौ हस्तौ दण्डवद् भैरवासनम्.
The next posture is Samanasana. Now sit with one heel at the perineum. Lift and hold the other foot, pulling the sole of your foot from the chest. Gaze to the third eye and hold your breath in this posture as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
समानासनमावक्ष्ये सिद्धमन्त्रादिसाधनात् एकपादमुरो दत्त्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणम्.
The next posture is Apanasana. Now sit and place one leg on top of your respective shoulder. Raise the other foot upwards and keep it straight. Keep your hands under the ground to the sides and gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
केवलं पादमेकं च स्कन्धे चारोप्य यत्नतः एकपादेन गगने तिष्ठेत्तदण्डवत् प्रभो.
The next posture is again Samanasana. Perform Samanasana on the other side.
समानासनमावक्ष्ये सिद्धमन्त्रादिसाधनात् एकपादमुरो दत्त्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणम्.
And continue to perform Apanasana on the other side.
केवलं पादमेकं च स्कन्धे चारोप्य यत्नतः एकपादेन गगने तिष्ठेत्तदण्डवत् प्रभो.
The next posture is Gomukasana. Now sit and cross one leg over the other, aligning the knees to the center of your body. With your feet by the opposite hips, place both hands on top of your stacked knees. Gaze to the tip of the nose. We are going to be performing the new pranayama, the Sitkari pranayama, which is place your tongue on your root of your mouth and inhale deeply, making a hissing sound, and then hold your breath and exhale slowly. Visualize the face of a cow. Engage Mula Bandha as you internally chant the new japa Om Nithyanandoham.
सव्ये दक्षिणगुल्फन्तो पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत् दक्षिणेऽपि तथा सव्यं गोमुखं यथा.
The next posture is Anusiyasana. From the previous position, hold onto the big toes with your index and middle fingers and prana mudra. Now relax your shoulders. Relax your shoulders and pull your stomach in and up, performing Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as a Rishika Anusiya.
दक्षिण गोड़ो नीचो ठाने बावों ताके ऊपर आने गोड़ा संधि मिलावे भारी आड़ा पतपुनि दे संधि पसारी.
The next posture is Anusiyasana too. From Anusiyasana position, interlace your fingers behind the back and lean forward and down. Bring the chin over the knees. In Parashamudra, gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself again as a Rishika Anusiya.
जीमणा गोदा की संधि उपरिड़ा वागोड़ा की संधि मिलाई राशे गोड़ा सिवले पकथल्यालो आडवाई सुधा राशे.
The next posture is Garudasana too. Now sit onto the ground with one heel pressed against the perineum. Keep the opposite foot flat onto the ground, knee to the chest. Keep your spine tall, chest out, and hands onto the respective knees. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as Lord Garuda.
डावो पगमोडी एडी माहिलो गुल्फमूल द्वारनी चैदे.
The next posture is Naradhasana. Now sit and place your perineum on top of your one heel. Interlace your fingers behind the neck in Parashamudra. Twist outside of your raised knee and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Sage Narada.
पिष्टिजवाम पगदली केरी भूपरिता ही लगा बेफेरी गोड़ा सुदो पनो है जो जी दछिपा तीरा शेषो जी.
The next posture is Matsya Pitakasana. Now place one foot on top of your opposite thigh and wrap your respective arm around the knee, holding onto the opposite shin. Extend the other hand straight and hold onto the respective toe with your index and middle fingers. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Matsya, the fish avatar of Vishnu.
वामेन वामाङ्गुष्ठन्तो गृहीतं मत्स्यपीठकं योनि वामेन सम्पीड्य मेढ्रादुपरि दक्षिणम्.
Now as we enter into the repeated posture on the other side, the first asana which we are going to repeat is Gomukhasana. Remember to continue to perform the Sitkari pranayama, which is place the tongue on the root of the mouth and inhale deeply, making a hissing sound, and then hold your breath and exhale forcefully.
सव्ये दक्षिणगुल्फन्तो पृष्ठपार्श्वे नियोजयेत् दक्षिणेऽपि तथा सव्यं गोमुखं यथा.
And perform Anusiyasana on the other side as you visualize yourself as a Rishika Anusiya.
जीमणा गोदा की संधि उपरिड़ा वागोड़ा की संधि.
Now perform Anusiyasana too on the other side.
मिलाई राशे गोड़ा सिवले पकतल्यालो आडवाई सुधा राशे.
Now perform Garudasana as Continue to internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as Lord Garuda.
डावोपगमोडियेडी माहिलौगुल्फमूलद्वारिणी चैदे.
That exposure is Naradasana. Perform Naradasana. On the other side, as you place your foot on the opposite ground in front of your foot, interlace your fingers behind your neck. Twist outside of your raised knee and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Sage Narada.
विष्टिजुवाम पगदली केरी भूपरिता हिलका बेफेरी गोड़ा सुदोपनो है जोजी दछिवाशती राशे सोजी.
And then perform Matsya Pitakasana on the other side as you visualize Matsya, the fish avatar of Vishnu.
वामेन वामाङ्गुष्ठन्तो गृहीतं मत्स्यपीठकं योनि वामेन सम्पीड्य मेढ्रादुपरि दक्षिणम्.
That exposure is Matsyendrasana. Now place one foot on top of your opposite thigh and place your opposite foot on the ground, far side of your opposite thigh. Twist and bring your elbow outside of your raised knee. Keep your raised arm by the neck and turn your head back and gaze to the third eye as you visualize Matsyendranath, the great sage and the master of the Hatha Yoga, as you continue to internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda.
उदरं पश्चिमाभासं कृत्वा तिष्ठति यत्ततः नम्राङ्गं वामपादं हि दक्षजानुपरिन्यसेत्.
That exposure is Kubhasana. From the previous posture, twist and bring your elbow outside of your raised knee. Extend your hand down to the foot, keeping the opposite hand in the respective ear. Turn your head back and gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a camel.
आसन को गुण झोलो जाए.
That exposure is Matsyendrasana too. Now twist and bring your elbow outside of your raised knee and extend your hand down to the foot, keeping the opposite hand on the ground. Continue to turn your head back and gaze to the third eye as you visualize Matsyendranath, the great sage and the master of the Hatha Yoga.
मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरप्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम्.
Is Matsyendrasana. Now perform Matsyendrasana on the other side as you visualize Matsyendranath on your inner space.
उदरं पश्चिमाभासं कृत्वा तिष्ठति यत्ततः नम्राङ्गं वामपादं हि दक्षजानुपरिन्यसेत्.
Now perform Kubhasana on the other side. Remember to continue to breathe in the Siddhkari Pranayama as you visualize yourself as a camel and internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda.
आसन को गुण झोलो जाए.
Now perform Matsyendrasana too on the other side.
मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरप्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम्.
The next posture is Padmasana. Now sit and place your feet on top of your opposite thighs. Place your palms on your respective knees. Engage all three bandhas performing Mahamudra Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Now we are going to perform the new pranayama, the Sitali pranayama, which is gently place the tongue against the back of your teeth and inhale. Hold the breath, then exhale slowly. Visualize Paramashivoham in a space as we internally chant the new japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
आसनं द्विविधं प्रोक्तं पद्मं वज्रासनं तथा ऊर्ध्वोरुपरि चेद्धत्ते उभे पादतले यथा.
The next posture is Padmasana too. In the same position, cross your arms and hold onto the toes with your index and middle fingers in Prana Mudra. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as Goddess Parvati.
उत्तानो चरणौ कृत्वा ऊरु संस्थो प्रयत्नतः ऊरुमध्ये तथोत्तानो पाणी कृत्वा तु तादृशौ.
The next posture is Mukkutasana. Now sit and place your feet on top of your opposite thighs. Place your palms onto the ground between the two thighs and lift the body up. Visualize yourself as a rooster as you perform this asana.
ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटवासिष्ठमरीचिहलमत्स्यकम्.
The next posture is Baddha Kekiasana. From Padmasana, rise up onto the knees and place your palms onto the ground, fingers pointing towards the body. Keep your elbows together pressed against the navel region and then lean forward. Find your balance and extend the knees up off the ground slowly as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
धरामोष्टभ्यकरद्वयेन तत्कूर्परिस्थापितानाभिपार्श्वः.
The next posture is Mayurasana. Again, while on your knees, place your palms onto the ground, fingers pointing towards the body. Keep your elbows together and press them against the navel region. And then lean forward, find your balance, and extend your legs up off the ground as you visualize yourself as a peacock.
अथ पक्षे महादेव मयूरासनमुत्तमम्.
The next posture is Makarasana. Now lay down onto your stomach with your feet pointing outwards and forehead on the mat. Interlace your fingers behind your neck as you visualize yourself as a crocodile.
अध्यासचेते हृदयं निधाय भूमौ च पादौ च प्रसार्यमानो.
The next posture is Shalabhasana. Continue to lay down onto your stomach. Now place your hands onto the ground beside your chest. Raise the legs up, bringing the thighs off the ground as you visualize yourself as a locust.
अध्यासचेते करयुग्मवक्षो भूमिमवष्टभ्यकरयोस्तलाभ्याम्.
The next posture is Ustrasana. Now lay down onto your stomach and bring your hands to the feet. Pull the feet down towards the ground outside of your hips. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize yourself as a camel.
अध्यासचेते पदयुग्मव्यस्तं पृष्ठे निधायापि धृतं कराभ्याम्.
The next posture is Dhanurasana. From Ustrasana, tighten the grip of your feet. Now kick your legs back and up and simultaneously lift the chest off the ground. Raise your head, gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow.
प्रसार्य पादौ भुविदण्डरूपौ करौ च पृष्ठे धृतपादयुग्मम्.
The next posture is Bhagasana. Now sit between your heels with your feet flat. Keep your spine straight. Place your palms on top of your thighs. Gaze to the third eye. Visualize Swamiji on Tiredness space. Engage Mula Bandha as we internally chant the new japa. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उल्टा मोड़ी पावदो वैसे बहुरो जगति करे एक ऐसे पावन महिला गुल्पज होबु कुला पाशितीला वेसोबु.
The next posture is Gohyasana. From your knees, place your forearms under the ground, fingers interlocked, elbows shoulder width apart. Now place top of your head onto the ground, holding back of your head with your hands. Walk your toes forward until your hips align with your shoulders. Lift the feet up, keeping the knees bent together. Now gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
दो हाथ की कहुनी जोजी पुण्य कलाई जाने दो जी.
The next posture is Sarashasana. Now place your top of your head onto the ground, holding back your head with your hands. Walk your toes forward until your hips align with your shoulders. Slowly lift the feet up and stack your hips on top of your shoulders, knees on top of your hips. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
विपरीतं मण्डलं च द्विधैव विदितं हिनः दण्डासनं द्विधा प्रोक्तं विपरीतोपवेशने.
Now you can slowly relax yourself. The next posture is Podyasana. Sit with your hands behind the calves and stretch your legs up. Bring your forehead to the knees and come to a vertical position with your legs. Now perform Bhastrika Pranayama, which is continuously making quick burst exhalations out of the nose again and again by pulling the stomach inwards and up. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
दो हाथ पग बाहर आने गोड़ा तरे काकसी ठाने.
The next posture is Parighasana. Sit and extend your legs out and up at a 45-degree angle. Bring your hands behind and hold onto your opposite shoulders. Keep your chest upright, legs straight, toes pointed up. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a mace.
उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा पादौ मिलित्वा प्रसार्य.
The next posture is Naukasana. Now sit and extend your legs out and up again at a 45-degree angle. Bring your elbows down onto the ground beside your hips. Keep your chest upright. Continue to perform the Bhastrika Pranayama as you visualize yourself as a boat.
उत्तानशयनं घोरपराभ्यां भूमिमवष्टभ्य हस्तौ नितम्बं निधाय.
The next posture is Rudrasana. Now sit and lift your feet up. Scoop your hands under the heels and pull the feet towards your chest. Keep your spine upright. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Continue to perform the Bhastrika Pranayama as you visualize yourself as Lord Rudra.
पगतली संपूट करी हाथस्यो उचाजी पगा का अंगूठा दो बूले वो परली का नीतालवे.
The next posture is Unmukha Pithasana 2. Now lay down onto your back with your feet flat onto the ground. Place your palms down and fingers just touching back of your heels. Lift your hips up high, pressing the feet onto the ground. Perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji entering inner space.
ऊर्ध्वे च जानुनी कृत्वा शवित्वोर्ध्वमुखं तथा उत्थाप्य हस्तौ तिष्ठेत्तु पीठ उन्मुखनामके.
The next posture is Shavasana. Now lay down onto your back with your palms facing upwards. Completely unclench your whole body from any micro movements. Feel you're alive in every single part of your body. Let the body remain dead. Perform the Shakti Charan Mudra. Visualize now the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is liberating you as you perform this asana.
उत्तानं शववद्भूमौ शयनं तु शवासनं शवासनं श्रान्तिहरं चित्तविश्रान्तिकारकम्.
Remember to continue to internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now, slowly move your body. Start to wiggle your hands on your toes. Rock your body side to side. And come back to the seated position on your yoga mats. As now we have completed the first part of the Pratama Vinyasa Krama, the 108 asanas. Now we'll be moving on towards the next sequence. Make sure you're sitting in a comfortable position on your yoga mats as we have the next sequence coming through. The next asana is Yathasanishtasana. Sit in a posture that brings ease to your physical and mental space. Place your hands in Bindu Mudra on top of your respective knees. Engage Mula Bandha. Perform Samana Pranayama. As you visualize Swamiji on inner space, and throughout the sequence, we'll be chanting the Uli Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. So make sure you are chanting the Japa internally as you perform each and every single asana.
पर्यङ्कं तत्समाख्यातं यथसंस्थं यथास्थितिः.
The next posture is Samasana. Sit cross-legged. Place your hands onto the knees with your thumbs and index touching. Place your hands in Bindu Mudra and again visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु सुखप्रसवलाभाय प्रोच्यते प्राक्तने पथि.
The next posture is Muktasana. Now place the left foot against the genital region and place the right foot over top the left. Keep your hands facing downwards on top of your knees and gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize yourself as a sage liberated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
निपीड्य सीविनीं सूक्ष्मां दक्षिणेतरगुल्पतः वामं याम्येन गुल्फेन मुक्तासनमिदं भवेत्.
The next posture is Siddhasana. Maintain the same position as the previous asana. Switch the gaze from the tip of your nose to your third eye as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
स्थानुसंयमितेन्द्रियो चलदृशा पश्यन् भ्रुवोरन्तरं चैतन्मोक्षपातभेदजनकं सिद्धासनं प्रोच्यते.
The next posture is Siddhyasana. Maintain the same position as the previous asana. Switch the gaze from the third eye to the ground in front of you. Engage all three bandhas, Mahamudra bandha, as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
वामपादके इडीजानो सीवनिमथितासकोठानो.
The next posture is Rudrasana too. Now keep your legs in the same position as Siddhyasana. Rotate your hands on top of your knees in Bindu Mudra. Switch the gaze from the ground to your third eye as you visualize yourself as a Lord Rudra, the fierce dimension of Paramashiva.
वामचरणपरिदक्षिणराखे एकजुगुदिये सेविदिदाखे.
The next posture is Shantadhunasana. Maintain the same position. Maintain the same position as the Rudrasana too, the previous asana. Switch the gaze from your third eye to the tip of the nose. Now embody tranquility and an unshakable nature in this posture.
आसन की गुण मन की चंचलता मीटे.
The next posture is Siddhasana too. Now maintain one heel on top of the other. Bring your hands to your navel region, cupping one palm over the other, resembling a lotus flower. This is the Sampata Mudra. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
ऋजुकाय समासीन सिद्धासनमुदीरितं प्रसार्य भुवि पादौ तु दोर्भ्यामङ्गुष्ठमादरात्.
The next posture is Baddha Yoni Asana. Now maintain one heel on top of the other. Now we're going to perform the Shanmukhi Mudra. Before performing, set a sankalpa that you're going to manifest through the womb of creation in this posture. Now place your little fingers beneath your bottom lip, ring fingers above your upper lip, middle fingers closing your nostrils, index fingers over your eyes, thumbs closing your ears. As this is the Shanmukhi Mudra, perform it as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
यत्र मध्ये महादेव बन्धयोन्यासने शृणु यत्कृत्वा अमरो धीरो भवत्येवेह साधकः.
The next posture is Virasana. Now place one foot on top of the thigh and the other foot under the opposite thighs. Place your hands in Bindu Mudra on top of your respective knees. Embody the state of bravery in this asana.
एकं पादमथैकस्मिन् विन्यस्योरुणि संस्थितः इतरस्मिंस्तथा चोरुं वीरासनमुदीरितम्.
The next posture is Valmikhasana. Now place your left heel on the right side of your generative organ, toes under the thigh, right foot on the left leg, toes by the knee. Continue to place your hands in Bindu Mudra on top of your respective knees and gaze to the third eye. Visualize the great sage Valmiki, the poet and author of Ramayanam.
डावा बगगी बगथली पुनि एड़ी है जोज.
The next posture is Joni Mudrasana. Keep your legs in the same position as the previous asana. Switch the gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize the Yoni Mandala as now it is projected onto your screen, which is representing Goddess Devi and Shakti.
वाम पादगी बगतली जाहि माहिली कोर.
The next posture is Yoni Asana. Keep your feet and the hands in the same position. Switch the gaze from the tip of your nose to your third eye as you visualize again the Yoni Mandala.
योन्यासनं पर्वतेन योगं योगफले नीलं तत्कालफललं तावत् खेचरो जावदेव हि.
The next posture is Bhadrasana 3. Sit and bring the soles of the feet together, holding with both of your hands. Bring the knees down towards the ground. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Lord Veerabhadra onto your inner space.
गुल्फौ च वृषणस्यादः सीवन्त्याः पार्श्वयोः क्षिपेत् सव्यगुल्फं तथा सव्ये दक्षगुल्फं तु दक्षिणे.
The next posture is Aghorasana. Now keep the soles of the feet together at the perineum. Press your tongue up against the root of the mouth in Khechari Mudra. Now with your right hand cover your mouth. Close the left nostril with your index and inhale through the right nostril. Close both the nostrils and hold your breath for a few seconds. Then exhale through the left nostril. Repeat this on the other side as you gaze through the third eye. Visualize yourself as an Aghori as you perform this asana.
पूर्व कहो भिश्रिका जोजी वाही विधि जो कीजे सोजी.
The next posture is Kaneri Pavasana. Now bring your feet together in front, toes together, heels apart. Place your elbows onto your heels, rest your chin onto the palms. Gaze to the tip of the nose and engage Udyana Bandha and Moola Bandha. Visualize yourself as a female elephant drinking water in this asana.
ग्वाली बाबा आसन कख्यो है जैसे याहू में जाने विधि तैसे.
The next posture is Parasana. Sit with your knee raised, arms between the thighs and calves. Interlace your fingers, feet off the mat. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Mamaji onto your inner space.
ततोर्ध्वम्रे च जेत् वायुं मृदुनिश्वास संयुतम्.
The next posture is Gopi Chandasana. Now interlace your fingers around your feet with your soles together. Toes in the groove by your throat, heels touching your chest. Keep your chin on the hands and gaze to the tip of the nose. Feel embodying the state and space of a king as you perform this asana.
पूर्व विधि पगा का अंगूठा कंठकू पराशे.
The next posture is Udharasana. Sit with your soles of the feet together. Insert the hands underneath the legs, holding the feet with your interlocked fingers. Bring the feet up to the chest. Bring the head down and touch the chin to the soles. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize your body is free from any defects.
दोबू बगदली संपुटटाने उभय हस्तकरियुरद हिताने.
The next posture is Vishishthasana. Continue to sit with your feet together. Keep your arms under your legs. Raise them up, your feet to the face. Fingers interlock, palms over your forehead. Perform Rechaka Pranayama as you inhale deeply and hold your breath. Now visualize yourself excelling in everything in this posture.
दोबू बगदली जोड़ी संपुट करे.
The next posture is Bhujasana. From a seated position, lift both your legs over top of your respective shoulders. Bring your arms underneath your legs and up, interlacing your fingers around the back of your neck. Engage Moola Bandha as you visualize yourself as a cobra.
शिरासनं तु विज्ञेयं कक्षासनम् अतः परं ग्रीवासनं च परमं भुजासनमिहोच्यते.
The next posture is Kalyanasana. Maintain a seated posture as you raise your legs up. Bring your elbows under your knees and wrap your arms around your neck, around your back. Keep your palms clasped and gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize yourself as a beautiful, auspicious goddess in this asana.
दो हाथ पगम बीच आने तिनको गोड़ा नीचे ठाने.
The next posture is Sankatasana. With your left knee on the mat, place your left foot flat and place your perineum on your left heel. Raise your right leg over top the left and bring your right heel to the left hip. Place the hands on top of your knees, on top of your opposite knees. Engage Mula Bandha as we're going to perform the Ujjayi Pranayama, which is gently resting the navel cavity and inhale through the nose, making an ocean-like sound internally, and then hold your breath and exhale slowly as you perform this asana.
वामपादं चितेर्मूलं संन्यस्य धरणीतले पाददण्डेन जाम्येन वेष्टयेद्वामपादकम्.
The next posture is Dhenukasana. From the previous posture, slide your left heel to the left hip. Keep your right knee on top of your left. Place both hands on your right thigh. Perform Uddiyana Bandha and Mula Bandha. Continue to breathe in the Ujjayi Pranayama as you visualize a cow on your inner space.
अनुषागी नगर पंचडं वृषेलिन्दगल्यम्नीम्.
The next posture is Machandrasana. Now place a right foot on the left thigh, then the left foot on the right knee. Bring your left hand behind the back and hold the right thigh. Place the right hand on the left thigh and twist the body and gaze through the third eye as you perform this asana.
वामजङ्घप्रदर्शिनठाने वामहस्तपिष्टी दिश आने.
The next posture is Machandrasana too. From the Machandrasana, the previous posture, untwist and hold onto the respective big toes. Lean your forehead so it touches the ground. Do this as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
प्रथम जी मनो चरणजो जी वामजङ्घपरिराखे सो जी ताकी येडी कड़िसो लावे एक जुगतिह और करावे.
The next posture is Guru Asana. Maintain your feet in the same position. Interlace your fingers and place them onto the top knee. Visualize Swamiji as you perform this asana.
ऊर्मूले इतरपादस्य कनिष्ठिका प्रदेशगुल्फं संस्थाप्य.
Now we're going to repeat Sankatasana. On the other side, perform Sankatasana as you visualize yourself as a swan and continue to perform Ujjayi Pranayama, which is gently resting the navel cavity and inhale through the nose, making an ocean-like sound internally.
वामपादं चितेर्मूलं संन्यस्य धरणीतले पाददण्डेन याम्येन वेष्टयेद्वामपादकम्.
The next posture is Dhenukasana. From the previous posture, slide the right heel to the right hip. Keep your left knee on top of your right. Place both hands on your left thigh. Visualize a cow onto your inner space.
अनुषागी नगर पंचडं वृषीलिन्दगल्यम्नीम्.
The next posture is Machandrasana. Now place a right foot on the left thigh, left foot on the right knee. Bring your left hand behind the back and hold the right thigh. Place your right hand on the left thigh, twist the body, and gaze through the third eye as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
वामजङ्घप्रदर्शिनठाने वामहस्तपिष्टी दिश आने.
The next posture is Machandrasana too. From the previous posture, untwist and hold onto the respective big toes. Lean your forehead so it touches the ground as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
प्रथम जी मनो चरणजो जी वामजङ्घपरिराखे सो जी ताकी येडी कड़िसो लावे एक जुगतिह और करावे.
The next posture is Guru Asana. Maintain your feet in the same position. Now interlace your fingers and place them on top of your knee. Visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
ऊर्मूले इतरपादस्य कनिष्ठिका प्रदेशगुल्फं संस्थाप्य तदेव जानु इतरपादपार्श्वे संस्थाप्य.
The next posture is Pashasana. Now sit with your feet flat onto the ground, knee raised against your chest, hands holding your knees, thighs together, spine straight. Now keep your tongue pressed against the roof of the mouth as you perform Khechari Mudra. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
पादतले भूमौ निधाय जानु निवृसि निधाय.
The next posture is Bodhashokasana. Keep your feet flat on the mat. Now wrap your arms around your legs and hold onto the opposite wrists. Place your chin onto the knees. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize you are being in an abode of bliss as you perform this asana.
दोवो पगदली भूपरि धरे कोरमा हिलिए से करे कोर मिलाजी उकड़ बैसे जंगा छाती अग्रणी वैसे.
The next posture is Kurakatasana. From the same position, place your arms under your knees and hold onto your opposite elbows. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji entering a space.
दो हाथ पग बाहर लियावे गोड़ा नीचे ले टहरावे आम्हा साम्हा ऐसे करे आपस में कोहनी पकड़े.
The next posture is Sumati Asana. Now maintain the same hold beneath your knees. Bring your right foot over the left so your heels is crossed. Toes pointing up. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize the great sage Maharishi Sumati.
मूलद्वार धरती परिठाने डावा पग परिदच पद आने.
The next posture is Dandasana. Now extend your feet out straight. Keep your arms raised straight up above your head. Interlace your fingers of wrist pointed outwards. Engage all three bandhas as you gaze to the tip of the nose and visualize Swamiji entering your space.
इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु सुख प्रसवलाभाय प्रोच्यते प्राक्तने पथि.
The next posture is Arambhasana. Sit with your legs straight, hold onto your big toes with your index and middle fingers and Prana Mudra. Move your chest forward and down, head to the knees. Now inhale through the left nostril and exhale as you perform the Nadishwara Pranayama. Visualize Swamiji entering a space.
दोवो पग मिलेवा पसारी पगा का अंगूठा पकड़ी लीलाट गोड़ा लगावे.
The next posture is Bidokasana. Sit with your legs straight, extend your knees slightly up. Keep one hand distance between your heels. Bring your shoulders down, wrap your hands in and around your legs. Hold the soles of the feet. Gaze to the third eye as we're going to perform the new pranayama, Ujjayi pranayama, which is again gently resting the navel cavity and inhale through the nose, making ocean-like sound internally. Visualize Swamiji entering a space as you perform this asana.
प्रथम बैसी दो पाव पसारी कछुक ऊर्ध को कुरडो डारे.
The next posture is Jalandhari Pavasana. Now extend both legs out with your heels together. Place your chin, mouth and nose on your heels. Insert your hands below the legs, keeping your elbows together onto the ground along with your fingers. Keep your palms facing upwards, gaze to the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
दो एड़ी मैली के दीजे हाथ पसारी.
The next posture is Urdhva Paschimottanasana. Now sit and extend both legs out. Lift your one foot behind the neck. Lean forward and down as you perform Paschimottanasana. We're going to perform the new pranayama, the Pratyahara pranayama, which is inhale deeply and then hold your breath. Concentrate in succession on your souls, organs of your generations.
पश्चिमतानवत् संस्थितिं कृत्वा एकं पादं ग्रीवायां धृत्वा तिष्ठेत्.
The next posture is Anantasana. Now lie on your back and lift your right leg behind your neck. Place your left hand holding your foot from the top. Straighten your body and concentrate on the prana moving from your Mooladhara chakra. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as an infinite or endless one.
उत्तानशयनी एकैकम्पायी ग्रीवायां विन्यस्य इतरहस्तेन पावाग्रं गृहीत्वा.
The next posture is Ankushasana. From Anantasana, the previous posture, rest onto your elbow of your hand holding your foot. Concentrate on your prana moving from your Mooladhara chakra and gaze to the tip of the nose as you feel that you are in complete control in this posture.
उत्तानशयित एकैकं पादं ग्रीवायां कुर्वन् इतरहस्तं कर्णमूले स्थापयेत्.
The next posture is Dirshasana. Now lie down onto your back, bring your knees to the chest, encircle the thighs and calves with your arms. Now start to roll to the left and to the right as you perform this asana, visualizing Swamiji entering a space.
उत्तानशयनं जानुनि हृदये वष्टम्बा जङ्घासहित ऊरूनि करद्वये बद्ध्वा सव्यापसव्यं लोडयेत्.
The next posture is Urdhva Paschimottanasana. We're going to be having the set of asanas, performing it on the other side. The first asana is Urdhva Paschimottanasana.
पश्चिमतानवत् संस्थितिं कृत्वा एकं पादं ग्रीवायां धृत्वा तिष्ठेत्. ऊर्ध्वपश्चिमतानं भवति.
The next posture is Anantasana. Now lie on your back and lift your right leg behind the neck. Concentrate on the prana moving from your Mooladhara chakra as you visualize yourself as an infinite or endless one.
उत्तानशयनी एकैकं पाजी ग्रीवाजां विन्यस्य इतरहस्तेन पावाग्रं गृहीत्वा.
Now perform Ankushasana on the other side as you feel that you're in complete control. Make sure you're gazing through the tip of the nose as you perform this asana.
शयित एकैकं पादं ग्रीवायां कुर्वन् इतरहस्तं कर्णमूले स्थापयेत्.
The next posture is Yoga Nidrasana. Now lie on your back and lift your legs one by one up behind your head. Hold your hands behind your back and gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji on your space.
पादाभ्यां वेष्टयेत् कण्ठं हस्ताभ्यां पृष्ठबन्धनं तन्मध्ये शयनं कुर्यात् योगनिद्रा सुखप्रदा.
The next posture is Atma Ramasana. While laying on your back, raise your legs towards your head. Wrap your hands around the legs, interlace your fingers behind your neck. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Lord Vishnu is blessing you within as you perform this asana.
Atma Rama Asana Pratama Sudho Sove.
The next posture is Kochikasana. Now lay on your back and keep your knees to the chest. Keep your soles facing up. Extend your arms sideways. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
दो हाथ चीदा सा करे 300 उबे छुपा करे.
The next asana is Janana Pravritti. In this posture, we'll be having 3 different steps. The first step is continue to lie on your back and move your knees to the chest. Now keep your arms reach to the sides at the shoulder level. The next step is keep one knee bent to the ground, keep the other leg extended out straight. And then keep both knees bent to one side. And then keep both of your legs straightened to one side. And then now make sure your head is looking in the opposite direction of your leg. Perform this asana as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
परिवृत्ते कोक्षे भागे त्रिधा हि परिकीर्तितः बद्धकोणं सुप्तकोणं ऊर्ध्वकोणमतापि च.
Now we're going to perform Janana Pravritti again on the other side. I'll be repeating the instructions. Continue to lie on your back and move your knees to the chest. Make sure your arms reach to the side of the shoulder level. Keep one knee bent to the ground with the other leg extended. Now keep both knees bent to one side and both legs straightened to one side. Make sure your head is looking in an opposite direction of your legs as you perform this asana.
परिवृत्ते कोक्षे भागे त्रिधा हि परिकीर्तितः बद्धकोणं सुप्तकोणं ऊर्ध्वकोणमथापि च.
The next posture is Dvipadapitam. Now lay on your back and bend your knees and place your feet flat onto the ground. Hold your ankles and lift your hips up. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Perform Murcha Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through the nose and then lock the chin to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha. And then hold your breath and then slowly exhale as you visualize yourself as steady as a bridge as you perform this asana.
प्रतिक्रियायुतं द्वन्द्वपीठः सर्वबलप्रदं गर्भिणीनां दुर्बलानाम् इति गार्गी जगादनु.
The next posture is Paryankasana. Now lie on your back and place your feet flat on the mat. Bring your arms over your head and place your hands flat on the mat as well as fingers pointing towards the feet. Lift the entire body up off the ground as you visualize yourself as steady as a stone furniture.
उत्तानशयनं हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिमवष्टभ्य पादतलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा नाभिप्रदेशम् ऊर्ध्वं कुर्यात् पर्यङ्कासनं भवति.
The next posture is Uttanasana. Now continue to lay on your back and move your knees to the chest. Make sure your hands are on your shoulders. Start to move your hips in a circular motion as you visualize you're a dog laying on its back.
शवच्छरीरं संस्थाप्य जानुनी सम्मील्य नाभो वाणिज्य हस्ताभ्यां कन्दरां बद्ध्वा भ्रामदेत् श्वोत्तनं भवति.
The next posture is Viparita Karani. Now lie supine and raise your hips and legs up. Bring your hands to lower back for support if needed. Keep your elbows and hand extend the mat below, helping the balance of your body as your legs are raised up. Now start to move your legs around in a circular motion as you visualize Swamiji onto inner space.
भूतले स्वशिरो दत्त्वा खेनजेच्चरणद्वयं विपरीतकृतिश्चैषा सर्वतन्त्रेषु गोपिता.
The next posture is Viparita Karani 2. You can stop the movement of your raised legs and visualize Swamiji onto inner space.
करणी विपरीताख्या सर्वाधिव्याधिनाशिनी नित्यमभ्यासयुक्तस्य जाठराग्निविवर्धनी.
The next posture is Langalasana. Now lay on your back and lift your hips. Take your feet over your head. Toes on the floor, hands stretched on the ground behind your back with your palms clasped. Rest your neck and shoulders as you visualize yourself as a plow.
नरकासने स्थित्वा नासिकाप्रदेशे भूमौ पादपृष्ठे स्थाप्य हस्तद्वयं सम्मील्य लम्बीकुर्यात् ग्रीवाप्रदेशेन भूमिं कर्षयेत् लाङ्गलासनं भवति.
The next posture is Saitya Paschimottanasana. Now lay on your back and move your legs over your head, toes butter the ground, thighs to the chest and hold your toes. Keep your arms and legs straight. This is one of the 84 different asanas revealed directly by Lord Paramashivam himself. Perform this asana as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
तानं शयित्वात् कुर्वीत शयितपश्चिमतानकम्.
The next posture is Supta Konasana. In the same position, spread your legs wide apart, hips above your shoulders. Engage Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
परिवृत्ति कुक्षिभागे त्रिधा हि परिकीर्तितः बद्धकोणं सुप्तकोणम् ऊर्ध्वकोणमथापि च.
The next posture is Chakrasana. Now bring your legs over top of your head, toes on the ground. Hold your ankles, keeping your knees straight. Roll backwards onto your back, keeping your legs straight as you visualize yourself as a chakra wheel.
शवासनस्तद्वौ पादौ कुर्यान्मस्तकतः परो व्युत्क्रमेण ततः शीघ्रमेतत् सर्वस्य साधनम्.
The next posture is Supta Prasarita Padangushthasana. Now lie on your back and keep your legs in a vertical posture. Hold your big toes in Prana Mudra. Open your legs wide as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
The next posture is Supta Padhangushthasana. Now lie on your back with your legs extended straight up. Hold your big toes in Prana Mudra as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
The next posture is Matsyasana. From Supta Padhangushthasana, the previous asana, move your legs into the Padmasana posture. Now lay on your back and hold your opposite elbows over your head. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Matsya, the fish avatar of Vishnu.
मुक्तपद्मासनं कृत्वा उत्तानशयनं चरेत् कूर्पराभ्यां शिरोवेष्ट्य मत्स्यासनं तु रोगः.
The next posture is Parasarama Asana. Now lay on your back in the Padmasana posture. Place backside of your right hand onto the left palm. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Lord Rama onto your inner space.
प्रथमकरे पद्मासन आछे सूधो सोवे भूपरिपाछे.
The next posture is Sarvangasana. While laying on your back and legs in the Padmasana posture, lift your hips and legs up. You can use your support of your hips to hold your elbows on the floor. Tuck the chin to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Swamiji on your space.
अथवा क्षेत्रसंक्षेपात् सर्वाङ्गासनमुत्तमं यत्कृत्वा योगनिपुनो विद्याभिः पण्डितो यथा.
The next posture is Vrishikasana. Now lay on your back and keep your one foot on the opposite thigh. Lift the other knee towards the head. Extend the both arms up above your head and hook your fingers forward. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a scorpion.
प्रथमशयन सुधोषि इशिकेशिकी सन्धि सुदाखे.
Now perform again Vrikshasana on the other side.
प्रथमशयन सुधोषि इशिकेशिकी सन्धि सुदाखे.
The next posture is Vrishabhadakshepasana. Continue to lay on your back and interlace your fingers around your neck. Lift both feet off the ground. Extend the one leg straight and the other knee to the chest. Alternating extend the raising legs, a raising knee again and again. As you perform this asana, visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा अङ्गुलिभ्यः कन्धरां बद्ध्वा कूर्परौ मिलित्वा नितम्बेन भूमिं स्पृष्ट्वा.
The next posture is Marothanasana. Continue to lay on your back and now lift your legs one by one, touching the ears with your knees. Engage Moola Bandha as you perform this asana.
श्वोत्तानवत् संस्थितिः कृत्वा जानुद्वयं पर्यायेन कर्णयोः संस्पृशेत मारोत्तनं भवति.
The next posture is Brikhasana. While laying on your back, place your soles of the feet flat onto the ground. Now stand up and sit back down. Do this again and again as you visualize yourself as a wolf.
अथ उत्तानशयनं कृत्वा पादतलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा उत्तिष्ठेत वृकासनं भवति.
The next posture is Luthasana. Now lay on your back and quickly throw your legs up above your head. Complete rollover, finish in a prone position. Repeat this again and again as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
अथ उत्तानशयनं पादौ शिर उल्लङ्घ्य भूमौ स्थापयित्वा.
The next posture is Sarathasana. Now lie on your belly with your toes extended. Hands on the ground by the shoulders. Now contract your lips, making a sound like a flute whistling while inhaling. Perform the Sarada Kumbhaka, which is inhaled through the mouth, making a sound of a flute as you do so. Visualize you are carrying warriors into the battle for Dharma on your chariot back as you perform this asana.
नुब्जं शयनं कृत्वा नाभिं भूमौ निधाय स्तम्भध्यस्ताभ्याम् ऊरुसहितजङ्गे निबध्य.
The next posture is Dehalunghanasana. Now place your palms onto the mat in a plank position. Jump your legs forward and back between your arms. Do this as you feel yourself you have gone beyond the body and mind as you perform this asana.
हस्तद्वयं बद्ध्वा तन्मध्यचरणद्वयम् उड्डानैव बहिरानीज्य अथ नयेत् देहल्युल्लङ्घनं भवति.
The next posture is Jatyasana. From a standing position, bend forward and place your hands on the mat. Walk back and forth as you visualize yourself as a wise 60-year-old elephant.
अथ जात्यासनं वक्ष्ये येन जातिस्मरो भवेत्.
Now we come to the next Karana, the Lolitika Karana. Stand with your knees bent and feet pointing outwards. Bend the elbows and keep your hands at the chest level. Swiftly move the arms across the body and then bring back to the center. Tilt your head back and open the chest up towards the sky. Start to move your head in all directions. The next posture is Sarpasana. If you have a rope with you, you can bring it along and tie your feet with a rope. Otherwise, please stand erect like a rod. Keep your arms by the sides, hands touching your thighs. Visualize your Kundalini, Devi, raising and curling upward around your body. Engage Moola Bandha as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथ सर्पासनं वक्ष्ये वायुपाणाय केवलं शरीरं दण्डवत् तिष्ठेत् रज्जुबन्धस्तु पादयोः वायवी कुण्डली देवी कुण्डलाकारमङ्गुले.
Then exposure is Ushtrasadhanasana. While standing, place all your fingers on the mat and then stand on your hands. Keep your feet on the wrists. Start to begin to move and walk like a camel. As you visualize yourself as a camel in this posture.
मुष्टिकनिष्ठिका प्रदेशेन भूमो निधाय उपरि पादतले संस्थाप्य उष्ट्रवत् उष्ट्रसाधनं भवति.
That exposure is Ashwasana. While you are standing, again place all the fingers on the mat and then stand on your hands. Keep your feet on the fists. Begin to move and walk like a horse as you visualize yourself as a horse in this posture.
मुष्टिकनिष्ठिका प्रदेशेन भूमो निधाय उपरि पादतले संस्थाप्य अश्ववत् शरीरं चलनीयम् अश्वासनं भवति.
That exposure is Kapotadikatasana. Stand straight with your feet together. Now interlace your hands behind the back and pull them down towards the calves. Open up your chest as you visualize yourself as a soaring bird diving.
पादतले भूमो निधाय पृष्ठभागेन हस्तौ जङ्घापर्यन्तं नीत्वा कपोतनिटकं भवति.
Now we'll be moving on to the next Karana, the Thalapashpatam Karana. Now stand tall with your palms together in Namaskar Mudra. Gently bend the knees and keep your toes pointed outwards. Simultaneously open up the palms and raise one heel off the ground, lowering the waist and shoulder the respective heel. Visualize holding and offering a bouquet of flowers to Paramashiva as you perform this Karana. The next posture is Khadgasana. Now lay onto your stomach, jump your feet up towards the hands and stand. Bring your palms together, forming Namaskara Mudra as you visualize yourself as a rhinoceros.
नुजसरतमासनं कृत्वा पादतलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा उत्तिष्ठेत् खड्गासनं भवति.
The next posture is Uttanottanam. If you have the weights with you, you can bring it along and perform it with your weights. Now sit down all the way or as low as you can to the ground and then stand up. Do this again and again as you gaze to the tip of the nose and visualize Swamiji onto inner space.
पुनः पुनः उत्थातव्यम् असितव्यम् इति उत्थानोत्थानं भवति.
The next posture is Musalasana. Now stand up straight, raise the arms over your head and jump repeatedly. Do this as you visualize yourself as a mace.
सरलं स्थित्वा ऊर्ध्वं बाहु नजेत् वारं वारम् उड्डानं कृत्वा नजेत् मुसलासनं भवति.
The next posture is Ushtrasaka. From a standing position, pull the sole of your one foot towards your belly. With the other leg, sit down and then stand up. Alternate this on both sides as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
एकैकं पादतलं कुक्षौ निधाय तिष्ठेत् उच्छीर्षकं भवति.
Now we have the next Karana, the Parshvajanu Karana. Now stand and keep one leg slightly bent with your toes pointing to the side. Bend and lift your opposite knee towards your chest, pointing the toes facing downwards. Keep the arm holding the knee with your hands pointing outwards and keep your hands closed in the fist position. Let the opposite hand hang down on the top of your thigh, wrist twisted and fingers pointing towards the center of your body. The next posture is Tandavasana. If you have the weights with you, you can bring it along and perform it along with this asana. Now on one leg up, keep the opposite leg extended forward, lower the body down to the mat and then stand straight. Lift the raised leg to the opposite thigh. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize yourself fiercely dancing as Paramashiva.
एकेन पादेन स्थातव्यं ताण्डवासनं भवति.
The next posture is Brahmanasana. Now place your left foot on top of your opposite thigh and stand erect on the mat like a rod. Keep your hands by the side. Visualize yourself being blessed by Lord Brahma in this posture.
ब्राह्मणासनमावक्ष्ये यत्कृत्वा ब्राह्मणो भवेत् एकपादमुरौ दत्त्वा तिष्ठेत् दण्डाकृतिर्भुवि.
The next posture is Garudasana 3. Now stand tall and wrap your left leg over and around the right knee. Tuck the left toes on the other side of your right calf. Simultaneously cross your left arm below the right and bring your palms together in Namaskara Mudra. Visualize yourself as Lord Garuda as you perform this asana.
उत्तानकूर्मपीठं च संहस्गारुडमेव च वातायनं गोमुखं च भारद्वाजं त्रिविक्रमम्.
The next posture is Ekapadhasana. Now stand straight on your right leg. Keep your left foot on your opposite thighs, hands relaxed by the knees. Visualize Swamiji in a space as you perform this asana.
दक्षाङ्घ्रिं वामपादस्य जङ्घोपरि निधाय च.
The next posture is Dhruvasana. Now stand on your right leg, hold the big toe on your left foot. Now straighten out to the side and rotate your body quickly on your standing leg as you visualize the North Pole star.
एकेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादस्याग्रं धृत्वा.
The next posture is Trivikramasana. Now stand on your right leg and lift your left foot behind the neck and stand tall. Alternate this posture sitting and standing as you visualize Lord Vishnu onto your inner space.
ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति.
Now we'll be having again the Parshajanukarana. Stand and keep one leg slightly bent with your toes pointing to the side. Bend and lift your opposite knee toward the chest, pointing the toes downwards. Keep the arm holding the knee with your hand pointing outwards and close to the fist position. The next asana is Tandavasana. On one leg, lower the body to the mat and then stand straight, lifting the raised leg to the opposite thighs. Do this as you visualize yourself fiercely dancing as Paramashiva.
एकेन पादेन स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं ताण्डवासनं भवति.
The next posture is Brahmanasana. Now place the right foot on the inner left thigh and then stand erect on the mat like a rod. Keep your hands by the side as you visualize yourself being blessed by Lord Brahma.
ब्राह्मणासनमावक्षे यत्कृत्वा ब्राह्मणो भवेत् एकपादमुरो दत्त्वा तिष्ठेत् दण्डाकृतिर्भुवि.
The next posture is Garudasana 3. Stand tall and wrap your right leg over and around the left knee. Tuck the right toes on the other side of your left calf. Simultaneously cross the right arm below the left and bring your palms together in Namaskar Mudra. Visualize yourself as Lord Garuda as you perform this asana.
उत्तानकूर्मपीठं च संहस्गारुडमेव च वातायनं गोमुखं च भारद्वाजं त्रिविक्रमम्.
The next posture is Ekapadhasana. Now stand straight on your left leg. Place your right foot on the opposite thighs. Keep your hands relaxed by the knees. Visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
दक्षाङ्घ्रिं वामपादस्य जङ्घोपरि निधाय च.
The next posture is Dhruvasana. Now stand on your left leg. Hold your big toe of your right foot and straighten out to the side. Rotate your body quickly on your standing leg as you visualize yourself as a North Pole star.
एकेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादस्याग्रं धृत्वा.
The next posture is Trivikramasana. Now stand on your right leg and lift your left foot behind the neck and stand tall. Alternate this posture sitting and standing as you visualize Lord Vishnu onto your inner space.
ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति.
The next up is Samanakakarana. Now stand with your feet close together and toes pointed slightly out. Keep both hands to the sides of your body for next few seconds. The next posture is Gorakanjali Asana. Now stand erect and then bend forward. Bring both hands underneath the knees, making a finger lock. Sit in a squatting position and let the finger lock touch the navel. Visualize the great sage Goraknath, the founder of the Natha Yoga Hindu Sampradaya. We are going to perform the new pranayama, the Jiva Chala Kumbhaka, which is inhale through the nose and hold your breath. And then with a mental force, move the prana through all different areas of your body.
प्रथमहि उभौ होये बाहुरी नीचोपु निहोवे.
The next posture is Kanchasana. Now insert your hands between the thighs and the calves and then wrap it around behind your butt. Squat down and hold your hands behind. Keep your chest upright as you visualize Swamiji into inner space.
ऊर्मध्यात् हस्तौ निवेश्य नितम्बं धृत्वा
That exposure is Bhairuvasana. Now bring your feet together and sit in a squatting posture. Hold the hands at the back and sit upright. Gaze at the navel as you visualize Bhagavan Kalabhairava, the Lord of Time.
दोबूपक की थल्या की माहिली कोर मिला जी फना पानी उकड़ मोड़ वैसे.
The next posture is Varahasana. Now squat all the way down to the ground. Keep your feet together, toes apart. Bring your elbows up close to your head and palms joined over back facing downwards in Namaskara Mudra. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize a boar, one of the 10 incarnations of Mahavishnu.
पागथली की माहिली कोर मिला जी फना पानी उकड़ वैसे.
The next posture is Pripitasana. Now keep your heels touching. Bring your hips to the same level as your knees. Let your hands hang down, your fingertips touching the toes or the mat in front of you as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
पार्श्वद्वये सम्मील्य स्थित्वा नितम्बं जानुप्रदेश आनीय तिष्ठेत् प्रपीठासनं भवति.
The next posture is Bakasana. Now place your hands on the mat with your fingers wide. Place your knees on the back of your arms. Keep your eyes forward and down and slowly lift the feet off the ground as you visualize yourself as a crow.
हस्ताभ्याम् अवनिमवष्टभ्य जानुद्वयं नाभौ सम्मील्य.
The next posture is Sushtanga Kapaliyasana. Now kneel down, head onto the ground. You can place the palms spread for support. Now raise your body on your head and legs moved into the Padmasana posture. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto inner space as you perform this asana.
आसन को गुण कपाल आछो होई.
The next posture is Guptasana. Now keep your toes flat, touching the opposite feet. Sit down between the feet. Let the heels come outside of your hips. Place your hands on top of your respective knees. Sit straight. Gaze to the tip of the nose. You're going to perform again the Jivachala Pranayama, which is inhale through the nose and hold the breath. Then with the mental force, move the prana through all different areas of your body. Visualize you're sitting in a secret seat with Paramashiva and Guru as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
जानोर्वोरन्तरे पादौ कृत्वा पादौ च गोपजेत् पादौ परिच संस्थाप्य गुदं गुप्तासनं विदुः.
The next posture is Vrikshasana too. Now with your hands on the ground, fingers wide, lift the body up straight into the handstand position. This asana is to be practiced to purify the 7 different chakras on our body. Visualize you are a tree with the deep roots onto the ground as you perform this asana. If you have a partner with you, you can use it for a support or a wall for a support for this asana.
सप्तचक्रक्षालनाय वृक्षासन विशेषकान् जननेन्द्रियदादाढ्य कोणभेदान् समभ्यसेत्.
The next asana is Shubhavasana. If you're already in the same handstand position, be in the same posture. Otherwise, again, get to the handstand position. Gaze to the third eye now. Visualize the energy, tejas in the body is getting enhanced through this very asana. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
दोबूपक जोड़ी माही गुल्फ मिलाए.
The next posture is Matsyasana too. From Bakasana, jump your legs back onto your hands and your feet. Palms by the chest, body press off the mat. Now push your body up and down again and again as you perform this asana, visualizing yourself as a fish.
न्युब्जं शयनं कूर्परो पार्श्वभागायामूर्धकृत्य हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिं वष्टभ्य वारं वारम् उड्डानं कुर्यात् मत्स्यासनं भवति.
The next posture is Sarpasana too. Now lie prone onto your belly, keep your hands by your hips. Extend your legs gently and toes pointed outwards. Now lift the chest to the left and the right like a snake. Visualize and move your body like a snake as you perform this asana.
युब्जं शयनं कृत्वा हस्तौ नितम्बं संस्थाप्य पादोदीघी कृत्य
The next posture is Niralambhanasana. Now lie prone onto your belly and keep your hands in Padma Mudra, the lotus posture, holding your chin. Keep your legs straight, toes pointed together. Feel that you are self-supported and completely independent in this posture.
कराभ्यां पङ्कजं कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् कूर्परयासुदीः मुखमुन्नमनोच्चायि निरालम्बनमासनं निरालम्बनयोगी स्यात् निरालम्बनमासनम्.
The next posture is Chatrasana. Now lie onto your stomach and place your hands flat on the mat in front. Straighten your arms and bend your knees, bringing the feet towards your upper back. Lift up your head and the chest. Engage Mula Bandha as you see yourself as an umbrella, protecting your guru from the sun rays.
अर्ध्यासनवस्थित्वा हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिं धृत्वा.
The next posture is Vajrasana. Now sit onto your knees with your tops of your feet flat on the mat. Stretch your arms in the front, palms facing down. Place your forehead on the mat. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize you are the weapon of Indra, symbolizing indestructibility.
इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु सुखप्रसवलाभाय प्रोच्यते प्राक्तनेपथि दण्डपद्मभरद्वाज वीरभद्रसमानितो आसनानि सदा कुर्यात् सुदीर्घैरे च पूरकैः.
The next posture is Meshasana. Now push your body up into the Gajasana posture, which is on your hands and your feet with your hips raised. Now start to alternate striking the ground with your hands as you visualize and experience yourself as powerful as a ram in this posture.
गजासन संस्थितो एकैकं बाहुं भूमौ ताडयेत् मेषासनं भवति.
The next posture is Ajasana. From Gajasana, lift your legs onto the air. Slowly bring the forehead to the ground as you engage Mula Bandha, visualizing yourself as an unborn existing for all eternity. If you have difficulty in this posture, try your best and perform this asana.
गजासन संस्थितो पादद्वयमन्तराळे कृत्य मस्तकेन भूमिं स्पृशेत् अजासनं भवति.
The next posture is Dhanantarasana. Now sit on your heels with your legs together. Interlace your fingers around your toes. Pull your feet towards your perineum and then place your hands on top of your respective knees. Keep your spine straight. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Swamiji on your inner space as now we're going to perform the Ujjayi Pranayama, which will gently restrict the navel cavity and then inhale through the nose, making ocean-like sound, and exhale slowly as we interlate Chanda Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
पूर्व विधि परिहाता की काकसी से फना शरा मोड़ी पगा की माहिली अग्रिमेड लगावे.
The next posture is Angamottanam. Now interlace your fingers in front and then behind you. Stretch your arms forward and to the sides and then backwards. Start to give massage to various different joints and muscles throughout your body as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
हस्तयोः अङ्गुलीर्बद्ध्वा हस्तयोर्मध्यात् सर्वमङ्गं निष्कासयित्वा तिष्ठेत् अङ्गमोत्तनं भवति.
The next posture is Garudasana 4. Now sit on the heels in Vajrasana. Keep your feet turned out to the sides. Keep your thighs and knees resting on the ground. Spine straight, hands on top of your respective knees. Visualize yourself as a Lord Garuda, flying Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi on your back as you perform this asana.
जंगोरुभ्यां धरां पीड्य स्थिरकायो द्विजानुना जानु परिकरद्वन्द्व गरुडासनमुच्यते.
The next posture is Ananda Mandirasana. Sit with your legs folded back, toes pointed backwards. Keep your knees wide, gaze to the third eye as you visualize that you are residing in a blissful space of a temple.
अथ पक्षे वीरनाथ आनन्दमन्दिरासनं यत्कृत्वा अमरो धीरो भवत्येवेह साधकः.
The next posture is Mandukasana 2. Sit with your knees wide, feet overlapping on your ankles, hands under the knees Gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize yourself as a frog as you perform this asana.
पृष्ठं सम्पीड्य गुल्भाभ्यां जान्वङ्गे सवलयाकृतिः हस्तौ पादतले क्षिप्तौ मण्डूकं पाददोषहृत्.
The next posture is Narasimhasana. Now keep your toes on the mat, heels up and together. Place your perineum on your heels. Place your palms on the ground, spread fingers wide. Keep your thumbs touching and base of your hand touching the toes. Gaze to the tip of the nose. And now start to stick out your tongue and exhale. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Narasimha, one of the 10 avatars of Vishnu.
दोबू फणा पानी होए वैसे एडी मेल रघुदा निवैसे समशरीरनी काठ हरावे नासा अग्रदृष्टि को ल्यावे.
The next posture is Bisrakasana. Now sit on the toes and place your perineum on your heels. Separate the knees sideways and place it on the ground. Now make a hollow of your palms and place it on your mouth. Keep your thumbs under the teeth and close your lips. Gaze to the tip of the nose and inhale. Slowly exhale as you gaze and visualize yourself as a Devi, presiding over any and mystical fears you have.
दोबू पकागी एडी जोजी गोड़ा फनो बान अपनी होजी.
The next posture is Makadhasana. Now keep your soles together and top your feet on the ground. Sit on the heels and bend your elbows, bringing the fingers to the armpits. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself playing as a monkey in this posture.
दोबू पगदली संपुट आने तिनकी भिष्टि भूमि पर इठाने मूल द्वार एड्यां परिण्यावे मूढ़ा हाथ ऊंचा टहरावे.
The next posture is Vajrasangharasana. Now stand on your toes, keep your soles of the feet together. Sit on your heels, knees widen off the floor. Hold your elbows behind your back and gaze to the tip of the nose. Feel embodying a diamond-like strength for yourself and for Sangha, the spiritual community, as you perform this asana.
प्रथम पणा पाणी होए वैसे दोवू एडी गुदा निवैसे गोड़ा ऊभा राखे थिये आडे वाज पसारे धीरा.
The next posture is Kanjanasana. Now keep your toes down, ankles crossed behind, and sit on your heels. Place your palms on the mat to the sides. Visualize you are having perfect health beyond any and all physical and mental ailments as you gaze to the tip of the nose and internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
खञ्जनासनमावक्षे यत्कृत्वा सुस्थिरो भवेत् पृष्ठे पादद्वयं बद्ध्वा हस्तौ भूमौ प्रधारयेत् भूमौ हस्तद्वयं नाथ पातयित्वा नीलं पिबेत्.
The next posture is Kurumasana. With your toes flat, cross your feet and place your perineum on back of your heels. Keep your knees wide on the floor. Now rest your hands on top of your respective knees. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize you are a turtle, having a stable body and mind, living for hundreds of years.
गुल्भौ च वृषणस्याधो व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितौ ऋजुकाजशिरो ग्रीवं कूर्मासनमितीरितम्.
The next posture is Yogasana. With your toes flat, cross your feet and place your perineum on back of your heels. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
गुदं नियम्य गुल्भाभ्यां व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितः योगासनं भवेदेतदिति योगविदो विदुः.
The next posture is Vijogasana. Now stand on your knees, cross your ankles behind. Keep your feet near to your opposite knees. Hold your calves with your fingers inside and thumbs outside. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize you are in the space of eternal oneness, Advaita, with your Guru.
गोड़ा वामो उभौ होजी गोड़ा आड़ा राखे दोजी दछी पाकड़े पानी रहावे फनो वाम गोड़ा ढिगिल्यावे.
The next posture is Ustrasana too. In the kneeling position, bend backward and hold your ankles with your hands. Keep your arms straight, push your hip forward and tilt your head back. Perform this asana as you visualize yourself as a camel.
मेरुदंड ग्रंथिदाढ्य संविपादैषु पुमान् कपोतोष्ट्रासनाभ्यास कुर्यान्मिद हुताशनः.
The next posture is Jatyasana 2. With your heels together and hands on the soles of the feet, slowly lean back. Bring your elbows down to the mat and then place back of your head on the mat. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Experience yourself as a lotus blooming in this posture.
दोबू एडी संपुट करे सोले मूल द्वारित रिधरे फणा पानी उकड़ होए बैसे बहुरी पिष्टि दिशि करे जो ऐसे.
The next posture is Viratasana. Now sit on the knees with your thighs and calves together. Lean back and touch your back to the ground and then rise up. You can use the support of your hands if needed. Do this again and again as you visualize the healing and liberation of all causal and subtle forms of your body.
जंगा पृष्ठिभूमो निधाय जंगोद्रजोः ऊरुनि संस्थाप्य पृष्ठिवंशं वारं वारं स्पृशेत् विराटासनं भवति.
The next posture is Kapotasana. From Viratasana, rise the hips higher. Bring forearms on the mat and hold the back of your heels. Bring the head in between the feet as you visualize yourself as a beautiful dove.
मेरुदण्डग्रन्थिदाढ्य संपिपादैषु पुमान् कपोतोष्ट्रासनाभ्यास कुर्यान्मितहुताशनः.
The next posture is Varasana. Now stand upright on the knees with your toes tucked. Hold your arms with your opposite hands. Gaze to the nape of the nose as you visualize, and this is the boon filling posture. Receive your boon from Paramashiva as you visualize Paramashiva on your inner space.
जानुनी भूमौ संस्थाप्य हस्ताभ्यां बाहु परस्परं धृत्वा सरलं तिष्ठेत् वारासनं भवति.
The next posture is Varahasana 2. Now keep your knees together and toes tucked. Lean forward and bring your elbows to the mat. Keep your hands holding your head. Rest your hand and visualize yourself as a boar, one of the 10 incarnations of Mahavishnu as you perform this asana.
सूर्यं चन्द्रं भेदनानि आसनानि निकथ्यते कूर्परौ भूमौ स्थापयित्वा जानुभ्याम् अवनिमवष्टभ्य हस्तौ मस्तके संस्थाप्य पार्श्वनितम्बे संस्थाप्य तिष्ठेत् वाराहासनं भवति.
The next posture is Mundasana. Now kneel down. Place your elbows on the mat, shoulder width apart. Interlace your fingers. Place your head on the mat. You can use it supported holding with your hands. Walk your knees forward, lift your hips up, and then raise your legs and be straight. Be stable in this posture as you gaze to the tip of the nose, visualizing yourself as a lopped tree.
अधो मुण्डासनं वक्षे सर्वेषां प्राणिनां सुखम् ऊर्ध्वमार्गे पदे दत्त्वा धारयेन्मारुतं सिद्धिः.
The next posture is Andhasana. Now kneel down and keep your head between your knees, elbows adjacent to the knees. Keep your hands holding your head. Now start to exhale slowly as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space as you perform this asana.
प्रथम पगतली समटहरावे कोरमाहिली उभय मिलावे फनापानी उकड़कर बैसे दोवो एड़ी गुदा निवैसे.
The next posture is Viparita Shalabhasana. In this posture, if you have weights, you can use the weights to perform this asana. Now lie onto your belly and move your arms extended out straight out. Lift your thighs, arms and chest off the ground as you visualize yourself as a locust as you perform this asana.
शलभासन भेदाश्च नटभेरुण्ड नामके गण्डभेरुण्ड सहिते शीर्षदण्डासनं तथा.
The next posture is Kapalasana. Now lie on your belly with your arms at the side, palms facing down. Keep your forehead on the ground, keep your chest on the mat and lift your legs up together. Visualize yourself as a skull, representing the mind with your purified thoughts and a strong will to attain enlightenment. Perform this asana as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
कपालं भूमौ निधाय ऊर्ध्वं पादौ नयेत् कपालासनं भवति.
The next posture is Akasha Kapothasana. Now lie onto your stomach. Keep your hands by the sides, lift your legs up over your head and slowly place the feet on the mat in front of your head. Keep your palms flat on the mat behind. Visualize yourself as a free and open dove as we perform this asana.
उष्ट्रासने स्थित्वा चरणौ भूमेरुत्थाप्य मस्तकोपरि नीत्वा.
The next posture is Chatakasana. Now sit on the knees. Bring the chest down so the navel touches your knees. Keep your hands flat on the mat and forearms on the ground. Be steady in this posture as you visualize yourself as a sparrow.
कूर्परपर्यन्तौ हस्तौ धरामवष्टभ्य जानुनीनाभौ सङ्कुच्य तिष्ठेत् चटकासनं भवति.
The next posture is Vrishikasana too. Now kneel down and keep your hands and elbows on the mat. Raise your legs and bend back to touch your feet on the head. Lift your chin and hold this posture. You can do the best of your ability to perform this asana as you visualize yourself as a scorpion.
विच्छेव पुच्छ प्रतिमाङ्घ्रिपार्श्वे धृत्वा स्वशीर्षे चिबुकं विधार्यकौ.
The next posture is Vrishasana. Place your perineum down on your right heel. Keep your left foot outside of your hip, ankle to the sides. Place your hands under the mat as we're going to perform the new pranayama, the Antaranga pranayama. Quickly and forcibly inhale through the nose. Hold the breath for a short while and slowly release through the nostrils. Visualize you are a bull as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
याम्यगुल्भे पादमूले वामभागे पदेतरं विपरीतं स्पृशेत् भूमिं वृषासनमिदं भवेत्.
The next posture is Lolasana. From a kneeling position, place your hands flat on the mat in front of you. Now lift the knees off the ground and cross the toes of your left foot over top the right. Get your balance above the mat as you continue to perform the Antaranga Pranayama as you visualize Swamiji on your inner space.
लोलासनं सदा कुर्यात् वायुलोलापघातनात् स्थिरवायुप्रसादेन स्थिरचेता भवेत् धृतम्.
The next posture is Vrishasana. Now place your perineum down on your left heel. Keep your left foot outside of your hip, ankle to the side. Place your hands on the mat resembling a bull. Visualize you are a bull as you continue to perform the Antaranga Pranayama.
याम्यगुल्फे पादमूले वामभागे पदेतरं विपरीतं स्पृशेत् भूमिं वृषासनमिदं भवेत्.
The next posture is Balagunasana. Now place your left toes on the ground and sit on your heel of your left foot. Place your right foot flat under the ground with your knee raised towards your chest. Place your palm on your respective knees. Maintain an upright position. Now visualize Balagunahai, one of the 84 siddhas, onto your inner space. And remember, continue to perform the Antaranga Pranayama.
आसन को गुण जल विकार जायी.
The next posture is Grihasana. Now squat with your feet flat on the mat. Bring your elbows under the thighs and wrap your hands around the shins. Hold onto your ankles from the outside. Visualize yourself as an entire planet. As you quickly, forcibly inhale through the nose, hold the breath for a short while, then slowly release through the nostril as you perform the Antaranga Kumbhaka.
पादतले भूमौ संस्थाप्य जानुमध्ये कूर्परौ स्थाप्य हस्ताभ्यां गुल्फप्रदेशो धृत्वा तिष्ठेत् ग्रहासनं भवति.
The next posture is again Balagunasana. Now place your right toe onto the ground and sit on the heel of your right foot. Place your left foot flat on the ground with your knee raised towards your chest. Place your palms on top of your respective knees and maintain an upright position. Visualize Balagunahai, one of the 84 siddhas, onto your inner space.
आसन को गुण जल विकार जायी.
The next posture is Utkatasana. You can use the weights to intensify the practice of this asana. If you have weights, you can bring it along with you and perform this asana. Now squat onto the toes with your heels up and knees off the mat. Place your perineum on your heels and hands on top of your respective knees. Keep your spine straight as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space.
युजास्पिजोस्ति यत ऊर्वजानो यत्रासने पादतलद्वयोपरि.
The next posture is Vajrasanghara too. Now sit under the toes with your perineum on your heels and soles together. Keep your knees wide and off the ground. Hold onto the opposite elbows behind your back. Visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
प्रथम पना पाणी होए जैसे दोबू एडी गुदा निवैसे गोड़ा ऊभा राखे थिये आडे वाज पसारे धीर.
The next posture is Anilasana. Now squat or sit with your feet hip width apart. Keep your hands under the soles of your feet from the inside, palms facing down. Keep your arms straight, elbows to the navel. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize you are able to consume and live off air alone.
दोबू हाथ भूमि परिठाने कहुनी जाड़िना भिलग आने.
The next posture is Padugasana. Now place back of your hands on the mat with your fingers facing towards your body. Step your feet on top of your hands, wrapping around your feet like a shoe. And now start to walk around as you visualize you are wearing padukas walking across India.
हस्ततलयोः पादतले कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् गच्छेत् पादुकासनं भवति.
The next posture is Kukkutodana. Place your palms on the mat. Raise both feet upwards onto the air and let them fall back down. Do this again and again as you visualize yourself as a rooster.
हस्ततले भूमौ कृत्वा पादतले च ऊर्ध्वमुड्डानं कृत्वा भूमौ पतेत इत्थं पुनः पुनः कुर्यात् कुक्कुटोड्डानं भवति.
The next posture is Viparita Nrittasana. Now place your hands onto the mat. Raise your legs upward onto the handstand position. Move around your two hands dancing. Feel yourself becoming free from all inhibitions in this posture. If you have difficulty, you can actually go ahead and perform it again and again.
हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिम् अवष्टभ्य ऊर्ध्वपादाग्रे कुर्वन्.
The next posture is Kunjarasana. Now separate your feet and place one palm down on the mat with your arms straight. Bring your opposite hand to the head and be stable. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize Swamiji onto your inner space as you perform this asana.
अथ वक्षे महादेव कुञ्जरासनमुत्तमं करेणैकेन पादाभ्यां भूमौ तिष्ठेत् शिरःकरः.
The next posture is again Kunjarasana. Now separate your feet and place one palm down on the mat with your arms straight. Bring your opposite hand to the head and be stable as you perform this asana.
अथ वक्षे महादेव कुञ्जरासनमुत्तमं करेणैकेन पादाभ्यां भूमौ तिष्ठेत् शिरः.
The next posture is Kadambasana. Now sit onto the ground with your feet flat and heels close to the body. Hold the respective ankles and lift the feet off the ground. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize yourself as a Kadamba tree, a pious tree that promotes a long life for you.
पार्श्वभ्यां भूमिं वष्टभ्यां हस्तद्वयेन गुल्फौ धृत्वा तिष्ठेत कदम्ब भवति.
The next posture is Pavanamuktasana. Now sit with the heels in the perineum. Hold the knees with your hands and press them towards your chest. Engage Mula Bandha as you visualize any excess vata getting released or balanced within your system. Internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
द्वयोस्तु पादयोः पाणिं लात्वा स्वस्वनितम्बके जानुनी वक्षसि साधुर्बभ्रति करबन्धनैः. एवं विधा स्थितिर्यत्र तत्र वायुमुक्तासनं भवेदनेन वशा शुद्धिर्मलस्थवायुर्मोचनम्.
The next posture is Chakorasana. Now sit and lift one leg behind the head. Place both of your hands flat on the mat. Extend the opposite leg up with your knees straight. Now lift the entire body off the ground slowly and keep your chin up. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a powerful source of energy.
पूर्वतानं चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा चकोरक्रौञ्चशलभभुजङ्गमपि वृश्चिकम्.
The next posture is Dhanurasana too. Now sit on the ground and hold the left toe with your left hand, index and middle fingers. Pull the foot to the left here. Extend the right leg out, keeping it straight. Hold the big toe with your right hand. Visualize yourself as a Paramashiva's bow as you perform this asana.
पादाङ्गुष्ठौ तु पाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधिं धनुराकर्षकाकृष्टं धनुरासनमीरितम्.
The next posture is Ashtavakrasana. Now lift your left leg over top of your left shoulder. Bring your right foot across and hook on top of your left foot. Lean forward and down while extending the legs out to the left. Lift up your head and chest and find your balance as you visualize yourself as a flying crane.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
The next posture is Pranasana. Now place your right foot on your left thigh and bring your left foot flat onto the ground. Have your left shoulder underneath your raised left leg and place your hands flat onto the ground. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize you are immortal, able to exist solely from prana.
एतत् प्रभेदं वक्ष्यामि करोति यस्य चामरः एकपादमुरौ बद्ध्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणम्. एतत् प्राणासनं नाम सर्वसिद्धिप्रदायकं वायुमूले समारोप्य ध्यात्वा कुञ्चप्रकारयेत्.
The next posture is Parshamatsendrasana. Now place your right foot at the root of your left thigh, then the left leg by the side of your right knee. Hold the left hand by the right and twist your body and remain steady. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize the great sage and the yogi Matsyendranath, the master of the Hatha Yoga.
वामोरुमूलार्पितदक्षपादो जान्वो बहिर्वेष्टितदक्षदोष्णा प्रगृह्य तिष्ठेत् परिवर्तिताङ्गः श्रीमत्स्यनाथोदितमासनं स्यात्.
The next posture is Chakorasana. Now sit and lift one leg behind the head. Place both hands flat on the ground and extend the opposite leg up with your knees straight. Now lift the entire body off the ground and keep your chin up. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize yourself as a powerful source of energy.
पूर्वतानं चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा चकोरक्रौञ्चशलभभुजङ्गमपि वृश्चिकम्.
The next posture is Dhanurasana 2. As you sit on the ground, hold the right toe with your index and middle fingers. And now pull the foot to the right ear. As you extend the left leg out, holding a foot with your left hand, visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow as you perform this asana.
पादाङ्गुष्टौ तु पाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधि धनुराकर्षकाकृष्टं धनुरासनमीरितम्.
The next posture is Ashtavakrasana. Now lift your right leg over top of your right shoulder. Bring your left foot across and hook on top of your right foot. Now lean forward and down while extending the legs out to the right. Lift up your head and chest and then find your balance as you visualize yourself as a flying crane.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
The next posture is Pranasana. Now place your right foot on the left thigh and bring your left foot flat onto the ground. Have your left shoulder underneath your raised left leg and place your hands flat onto the ground. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize you are immortal, able to exist solely from prana.
एतत् प्रभेदं वक्ष्यामि करोति यस्य चामरः एकपादमुरौ बद्ध्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणम्. एतत् प्राणासनं नाम सर्वसिद्धिप्रदायकं वायुमूले समारोप्य ध्यात्वा कुञ्चप्रकारयेत्.
The next posture is Parshamatsendrasana. Now place your right foot at the root of your left thigh, then the left leg by the side of your right knee. Hold the left leg by the right hand and then twist the body and remain steady. Gaze to the third eye as you visualize the great sage and the yogi Matsyendranath.
वामोरुमूलार्पितदक्षपादो जान्वो बहिर्वेष्टितदक्षदोष्णा प्रगृह्य तिष्ठेत् परिवर्तिताङ्गः श्रीमत्स्यनाथोदितमासनं स्यात्.
The next posture is Ardha Paschimottanasana. Now keep one leg straight and press the perineum with the other heel. Move your chest forward and down and hold your front foot. Bring your head towards the knee. We're going to perform the new pranayama, the Jiva Chalakumbhaka, which is inhale through the nose and hold the breath. And then with the mental force, move the prana through all the different areas of your body. Visualize Swamiji on Tiredness space as you perform this asana.
एकं पादं प्रसार्य एकं पादस्य पार्श्विना सीवनी सम्पीड्य हस्तद्वयेन प्रसारितपादाङ्गुष्ठं धृत्वा जानुपरिमस्तकं न्यसेत् अर्धपश्चिमतानं भवति.
The next posture is Karanchasana. Now place your left ankle outside of your hip. Hold the sole of your right foot and lift the leg up towards the forehead. Keep the knee straight and gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as a crane.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम् उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
The next posture is again Ardha Paschimottanasana. Now keep one leg straight and press the perineum without the heel. Move your chest forward and down, hold your toes, feet and bring your head towards the knee. Again perform the Jiva Chalakumbhaka, which is inhale through the nose and hold the breath, and then with the mental force, move all different areas of your body as you visualize Swamiji entering a space.
एकं पादं प्रसार्य एकं पादस्य पार्श्विना सीवनी सम्पीड्य हस्तद्वयेन प्रसारितपादाङ्गुष्ठं धृत्वा जानुपरिमस्तकं न्यसेत् अर्धपश्चिमतानं भवति.
The next posture is Krauncha Asana. Now place your right ankle outside of your hip. Hold the sole of your left foot and then lift the leg up towards. Keep your knees straight and gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as a crane.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्तानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम् उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गुष्ठप्रसारणे.
The next posture is Swastikasana. Now sit with the soles between the thighs and the calves. Keep your spine straight, palms resting on the knees. Again perform the Jiva Chala Kumbhaka as you inhale through the nose and hold the breath. And then with the ventral force, move the prana through all different areas of your body. Gaze, embodying the peace, well-being, good fortune and prosperity in this posture as we continue to internally Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
जानुर्वोरन्तरे सम्यक् कृत्वा पादतले उभे ऋजुकाय समासीन स्वस्तिकं तत्प्रचक्षते.
The next posture is Ghorakshasana. Keep your feet in the same position. Cover your heels with your respective hands. Tuck the chin to the chest as we perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize the great sage Goraknath, the founder of the Natha Yoga Hindu Sampradaya.
जानुर्वोरन्तरे पादौ उत्तानो व्यक्तसंस्थितौ गुल्फौ छाच्छाद्य हस्ताभ्याम् उत्तानाभ्यां प्रयत्नतः कण्ठसङ्कोचनं कृत्वा नासाग्रमवलोकयेत् गोरक्षासनमित्याहुर्योगीनां सिद्धिकारणम्.
The next posture is Bhagasana 2. Bring your left heel to the perineum, right foot onto the left thigh. Close your eyes with your index and middle fingers. Now, take your ring and little fingers and ears with the thumbs, gaze to the third eye and meditate on the Lord Arihanta, the enlightened one, as we are going to perform the new pranayama, the Shanmukhi pranayama, which is inhale deeply and then place your fingers little beneath, lower the lip, ring above the upper lip, middle closing your nostrils, index fingers over your eyes, thumbs closing your ears. As this is the Shanmukhi mudra. Visualize Swamiji on your inner space as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
वामपार्श्वो गुदं संस्थाप्य दक्षाङ्ग्रिवामजगने मध्यमातर्जन्यङ्गुष्ठैः नासादृष्टिश्रुतिक्रमैः छाद्यापेज्जनं भ्रुभिः मनोलात्वा स्थिरं मनः.
The next posture is Yogasana 2. Now place your feet on top of your opposite knees. Place your hands on the ground beside you. Keep your palms facing up. Keep your spine straight and gaze to the tip of the nose. In this posture, we are going to be performing the new pranayama, the Kakachangu pranayama, which is curling the tongue inside the mouth. So the tips slightly come outside of your lips, creating a small gap to inhale through like a beak of a crow. Hold your breath after the exhalation. Perform this pranayama as you perform this asana. Visualize Swamiji in a space as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानौ चरणौ कृत्वा संस्थाप्योपरि जानुनोः आसनोपरि संस्थाप्य चोत्तानं करयुग्मकं पूरकैर्वायुमाकृष्य नासाग्रमवलोकयेत् योगासनं भवेदेतद् योगिनां योगसाधने.
The next posture is Urdhva Kukkutasana. From Padmasana, place your palms flat on the mat beside your body. Press your hands onto the mat and lift the knees off the ground slowly. Get your balance above the ground. Again, perform the Kakachanga Kumbhaka. As you visualize yourself as a rooster and engage Mula Bandha while you perform this asana.
वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्.
The next posture is Siddha Haratanyasana. From Padmasana, now insert both of your hands through the knees and place them on the mat. Now, avoid lifting the body up, just stay seated on the mat. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you again going to perform the Kakachanga Pranayama. Repeating the instructions, it's going to be curling the tongue inside the mouth so the tips slightly come outside of your lips, creating a small gap to inhale through like a beak of a crow. Hold your breath after the exhalation. Visualize Swamiji in a space as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्रथम पद्मासन को करे हस्तुदो वो गोड़ा संधि धरे उभय हथेले भूधरी राखे पोछा गोड़ा संधि में दाखे पिष्टि हथेली की है जहाँ आसन लगवा राखे तहाँ नासा दृष्टि अचल ठहरावे सिद्ध हस्तली नाम कहावे.
The next posture is Hamsasana. From Padmasana, place your hands on the mat through the gap of your calves and the thighs. Now lift the thighs up to the shoulder level and legs off the mat. Stay above the mat and gaze to the tip of the nose. Now visualize yourself as an elegant man as you continue to perform the Kakachanga Pranayama.
कुक्कुटासनवस्थित्वा स्कन्धपर्यन्तम् ऊरूनि नीत्वा तिष्ठेत हंसासनं भवति.
The next posture is Karmukasana. From Padmasana, place your hands between the thighs and the calves. While sitting, reach your hands behind the body. Now interlace your fingers in Parashamudra. Bring your forehead to the floor. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Perform the Kakachanga Pranayama as we engage Mula Bandha. Visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्रथम पद्मासन को करे गोड़ा संधि माही करी धरे तरफ दूसरी कर दो आने कोन्या ऊपर संधि ले ठाने.
The next posture too. From Padmasana, insert both of your hands through the thighs and the calves again. Now bend your elbows and hold onto the respective shoulders with your hands. Again perform Kakachanga Pranayama as we visualize you're a turtle having a stable body and mind to live for hundreds of years as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
बाई जंग पर दक्षिण पावा दाई जंग परिवा इल्या वा पहल्या अंश्रघा हाता.
The next posture is Granthi Bedasana. From Padmasana, insert both your hands through the thighs and the calves. Now bend your elbows and hold onto the respective shoulders with your hands. Bend your head down, tuck the chin to the chest as we perform Jalandhara Bandha and Mula Bandha. Gaze through the tip of the nose. Visualize you rejoicing in the knowing you and Paramashiva's secret knot posture. Perform Kakachanga Pranayama as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
अथवा पक्षे नीलकण्ठ ग्रन्थिभेदासनं शुभं ज्ञात्वा रुद्रो भवे क्षिप्रं सूक्ष्मवायुनिषेवनात् कृत्वा पद्मासने जङ्घयो हृदये करो कूर्परस्थानपर्यन्तं विभेद्य स्कन्धधारणम्.
Utthana Kurmasana. From Padmasana, again insert both of your hands through the thighs and the calves. Now lay on your back and bend your elbows and hold onto the respective shoulder with your hands. Gaze to the tip of the nose. Engage Mula Bandha. Feel that you are like a turtle having a stable body and mind to live for hundreds of years. Continue to perform the Kakachanga Pranayama as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
कुक्कुटासनबन्धस्थं कराभ्यां धृतकन्धरं पीठं कूर्मवदुत्तानमेतदुत्तानकूर्मकम्.
The next posture is Pangu Kukkutasana. From Padmasana, place both your hands through the gap of your thighs and the calves. Place one hand flat on the mat and hold its wrist. With the other hand, now lift the body up and hold slowly. Visualize yourself as a rooster as you engage Moola Bandha and perform this asana.
कुक्कुटासनवस्थित्वा एकेन हस्तेन अन्यस्य बनिबन्धं धृत्वा हस्ततलेन भूमिं विष्टभ्य तिष्ठेत पाङ्गुकुक्कुटं भवति.
Now we're going to perform Pangu Kukkutasana again on the other side. From Padmasana, place both the hands through the gap of the thighs and the calves. Now place one hand flat on the mat and hold its wrists. With the other hand, now lift the body up off the ground as you visualize yourself as a rooster and internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
कुक्कुटासनवस्थित्वा एकेन हस्तेन अन्यस्य बनिबन्धं धृत्वा हस्ततलेन भूमिं विष्टभ्य तिष्ठेत पाङ्गुकुक्कुटं भवति. जानोर्वोरन्तरे पादौ उत्तानौ व्यक्तसंस्थितौ गुल्फौ छाच्छाद्यहस्ताभ्याम् उत्तानाभ्यां प्रयत्नतः कण्ठसङ्कोचनं कृत्वा नासाग्रमवलोकयेत् गोरक्षासनमित्याहुर्योगीनां सिद्धिकारणम्.
The next posture is Padmasana 3. From Padmasana, hold one hand over the other, palms facing upwards. Keep your spine straight, gaze to the tip of the nose. Perform all three bandhas, the Moola Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha and Jalandhar Bandha, all put together as performed as Mahamudra Bandha. Visualize Swamiji on in a space as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानौ चरणौ विधाय विधिवच्छक्तिस्थितौ योगिरात् उत्तानौ स्वकरौ च शक्तियुगलान्ते साधो कृत्वा समौ.
The next posture is Padmasana 4. From Padmasana, place your palm on top of your knees. Keep your spine straight, gaze to the tip of the nose. Visualize Paramashivam on in a space as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
एतत् पद्मासनं कुर्यात् प्राणवायुप्रसिद्धये शुभासनं सदा ध्यायेत् पूरयित्वा पुनः पुनः ऊरुमूले वामपादं पुनस्तद्दक्षिणं पदं वामोरिस्थापयित्वा च पद्मासनमिति स्मृतम्.
The next posture is Karmukasana 2. From Padmasana, hook your right hand, index and middle fingers around your right toe. From the bottom of your foot, lift the elbows as if you're pulling a bow back and move the big toe around. Now place the left hand on the respective knee and keep it straight. Visualize yourself as a Paramashiva's bow as you're going to perform it on the other side. Engage Moola Bandha, continue to
अथान्यासनमावक्ष्ये योगपूरकरक्षणात् कृत्वा पद्मासनं पाद अङ्गुष्ठजङ्घयोस्थितं हस्तमेकं तु जङ्घाय कार्मुकं कूर्परोर्धकं पद्मासने समाधाय अङ्गुष्ठं परिधावयेत्.
The next posture is Karmukasana 3. From Padmasana, cross your arms behind your back and hold the big toes. Now inhale through the tongue, straight in like an arrow. Engage all three bandhas as we perform Moola Bandha, Udyana Bandha and Jalandhara Bandha. Gaze to the tip of the nose as you visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow. Continue to internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
कार्मुकासनमाक्षित्य उदरे पूरयेत् सुखं तदवायुर्वसो जाति कालेन सूक्ष्मवायुना कृत्वा पद्मासनं मन्त्रे वेष्टयित्वा प्रधारयेत् कारणेन दक्षिणो नैव वामपादान्तिकं ततम्.
The next posture is Dridhasana. Maintain Karmukasana 3. The previous posture. Now lift the chest up, gaze through the third eye, engage Mula Bandha. Visualize that your action of Paramashiva's third eye. Anything which you come across, you destroy. As we internally chant the japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ऊरुभ्यामुपरि स्थाप्य पादयुग्मं प्रयत्नतः दक्षिणं सव्यदेशे च सव्यं दक्षिणदेशके करद्वयं पृष्ठदेशे परिवर्त्य प्रयत्नतः पादाङ्गुष्ठयुगं सम्यक् कराभ्यां सन्निगृह्य च किञ्चिदुत्थानहृदयोन्यासिकामवलोकयेत् दृशासनमिदं प्रोक्तं सद्यो रोगविनाशनम्.
The next posture is Nagrasana. From Karmukasana 3, the previous posture, move your arms behind your back, holding onto your opposite big toes in Prana Mudra. Now lay down onto your elbows, thighs and the back, gaze to the tip of the nose. We're going to switch the pranayamas as we move on to the Sahaja Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through the nose, hold the breath comfortably, and then release and exhale slowly. Visualize yourself as a snake as you internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्रथम पद्मासन कोठाने दो हाथ पाछाने आने पाद अंगूठा पकड़े आनी सोबई कहुन्या कुल्या पानी गोड़ा जंग अग्र को दाशे मस्तक को समसूधो राशे नासा अग्र दृष्टि को धरे आसन नग्र ऐसे विधि करे नासा रोग जुना रहा ये विशाली पिनस होय.
The next posture is Kandukasana. Now lie on your back and bend your knees, feet off the ground. Embrace your knees to the chest. Make sure your head is touching your knees. Engage Mula Bandha as we're again going to perform the Sahaja Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through the nose and hold the breath comfortably. And then release, exhale slowly. Visualize that your body is squeezed into a ball position as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
वेत्रासने स्थित्वा हस्तवादान् निष्कुष्य ऊर्ध्वं नयेत् पृष्ठवंशेन भूमिं पोथयेत् कन्दुकासनं भवति.
The next posture is Urdhva Pavanasana. Now lay on your back and keep your knees raised together. Make sure your feet is flat on the ground. Keep your hands interlocked under your head. Gaze to the tip of the nose and again perform the Sahaja Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through the nose. Hold your breath comfortably, then release and exhale slowly. As you visualize Swamiji on inner space, internally chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
प्रथमे सूधो सैनकरावे गोड़ा ऊभा राशि मिलावे गुल्पमाहिला अंगुष्ठदोजी करे एक समेल रसोई उभय हस्त कांकसी करे सोले मस्तक नीचे धरे नासा अग्रदृष्टि टहरावे यातई नाडि सरल तपावे.
The next posture is Marakatapitasana. Now lie on your back and bend your knees and keep your feet flat on the mat. Place an upturned palms under your heels. And now lift your hips up. Perform Jalandhara Bandha and Mula Bandha. We're going to be switching the pranayamas from Sahaja Pranayama to Murcha Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through your nose and then lock under the chin. to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha. And then hold your breath and then slowly exhale through the nose, maintaining the same throat lock as you perform the Jalandhara Bandha. Now visualize yourself as a powerful alpha ape as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानशयनं पादतले उत्तानहस्तयोः स्थापयेत् पृष्ठभागमुत्रमजेत् मरकटपीठं भवति.
The next posture is Uttana Shakipithasana. Now lie supine and raise your hips up. You can use your hands for support of your hips placed at the waist. Elbows bearing the weight of the body, chin pressed to the throat center. Perform Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha, gaze to the tip of the nose, as we're going to continue to perform the Murcha Pranayama, which is inhale deeply through the nose, then lock the chin to the chest, as in Jalandhara Bandha, and hold the breath, and then slowly exhale through the nose, maintaining the same throat lock posture. Visualize Swamiji on your inner space, as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
जङ्घोरुबलहीनश्चेत् उत्तानशिखिपीठकम् अप्रमत्तः प्रकुर्वीत भुक्तेः प्राग्विजितेन्द्रियः.
The next posture is Narakasana. Now lie supine and raise your hips and legs up. You can use the hands to lower back for support if needed. Keep your elbows and hand extend the mat below, helping the balance of your body as your legs are raised up. Again, perform the Murcha Pranayama as we inhale deeply through the nose, then lock the chin to the chest as you perform Jalandhara Bandha. Hold your breath, then slowly exhale through the nose, maintaining the same throat lock. Visualize you are blissfully traveling through the hill unscathed, smoothly, as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
ग्रीवाकण्ठेन भूमिं विष्टम्भ पादाग्रद्वयम् ऊर्ध्वमुत्रजेत् नरकासनं भवति.
The next posture is Tiryannaukasana. From Narakasana, bring your hands to lower back, keeping the elbows on the mat. Now raise the leg up vertically and then slowly lower them and keeping them core engaged. Engage Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. Perform the Murcha Pranayama as we inhale and retain the air firmly, adopting the Jalandhara Bandha. Then exhale slowly while maintaining this Bandha. This is to perform your whole being into the next level. Visualize your boat crossing the ocean of samsara as we internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
तिर्यन्नौकावते ग्रीवापृष्ठकोर्परैः भूमिं वष्टभ्य.
The next posture is Dvajasana. Now keep your upper back on the mat, raise the legs up vertically. Keep your elbows, shoulder, hands remain on the mat below. Keep the legs in a vertical posture and hold. Engage Jalandhara Bandha and Moola Bandha. As you keep in the position of this Tiryannaukasana, holding the ground with the neck, the back, with the elbows, move up to 2 toes of the feet. As you're going to perform this is called as Dvajasana. As you visualize, you are the Kailasa flag, respected across all nations. Internally, make sure you're chanting the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
तिर्यन्नौकावते ग्रीवापृष्ठकोर्परैः भूमिं वष्टभ्य मस्तकलाख्येन पादाग्रद्वयम् ऊर्ध्वनजेत् ध्वजासनं भवति.
The next asana, which is the last asana, we're coming to the end of the Dvitiya Vinyasa Krama, is the Mritasana. Now lie supine and completely relax your whole body. Make sure you avoid having any and all micro movements. Visualize your body is dead as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is liberating you from all patterns. Perform the Shakti Charan Mudra, which is the giver of all powers, and you're able to see your kundalinis flowing through your spine. As you continue to lay flat on the ground, relaxing all parts of your body. The whole body is like a dead body, removing the fatigue and brings peace to your mind. And this is called the Mritasanam. Make sure and remember to internally chant the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
उत्तानं शववद्भूमौ शयनं तु शवासनं शवासनं श्रमहरं चित्तविश्रान्तिकारणम्.
Now slowly relax, and actually you can go ahead, start to move your toes, your fingers, your wrists, legs. Feel you're completely blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and rock your body side to side. And come back to the comfortable seated posture onto our yoga mats. Yes, as now we have completed the 308 asana sequence, the Dvitiya Vinyasa Krama, blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. As we are coming to the conclusion of today's Nithyananda Yoga session, we'll be moving on to the next session, which is a power manifestation session. Right after this Nithyananda Yoga, it's good that all of us can enter directly to the power manifestation space, that we can actually go ahead and manifest the powers of Paramashiva. So make sure you're quickly going ahead and changing your yoga attire and coming back and being seated for this power manifestation session, where we're going to be manifesting the power of third eye. Now let us all sit straight, Visualize the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in our inner space, keeping our hands in Namaskara Mudra onto our heart center. And we'll be ending this Nithyananda Yoga session with the Purna Mantra.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ नित्यानन्दम्.
Thank you, Nithyanandam. We'll be starting the next session very shortly.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I request all the participants to quickly settle down as we're getting to prepare ourselves for the power manifestation segment. It's going to be an intense 21 minutes power manifestation. So I request all the participants to quickly wrap up your yoga kits and get ready with the power manifestation kit. Jnananjana, Atmamurti, eye bands, pen and paper. So let's quickly get ready with the power manifestation kit. Now we'll be starting the power manifestation. So I request all the participants to quickly settle down. Still few of them are moving with the yoga. Okay, so let's quickly settle down for the power manifestation. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvadidam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamashyadilaksham Egam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Shakshibhudam Bhavadidam Trigunaragidam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Yes, Nithyanandam everyone, we welcome you all once again for the day 3 of Paramashivoham level 3 season 2. As an intense 21-day yoga and meditation, a global virtual conclave with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So I hope everyone had a wonderful yoga segment. Now we'll be entering into the power manifestation. It is going to be 21 minutes intense power manifestations. So before that, I request all the participants, there are still few cameras are off. I request every participant to please turn on your cameras. And make sure you are fully visible in the cameras. A few cameras are off, so let's quickly settle down and make sure yourself present in the front of the camera. So yes, let's start. Yesterday all we had a Sadashiva Murti Bhavasamaya Darshan, where Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself have initiated all of us into the power manifestation and the power of third eye. So now in this segment we're going to manifest the power of third eye, and we're going to have a multiple rounds where we're going to manifest third eye and we're going to identify the shapes. So I request all of you to get ready. Please bring your power manifestation items, which is the eye bands, pens and papers. If you have Jnananjana, Krishna Shila, bring everything. Yes. So now in this segment I will be projecting your shapes on your screen. So moment we blindfold ourselves, we'll start the power manifestation. So let us put your blindfolds. Let's sit straight. Make sure your blindfolds are proper. Put your blindfolds on and sit straight, head, neck, spine in the straight line. Just visualize Swamiji in your third eye. He himself is manifesting as Paramashivam with 25 heads, 50 hands and 75 eyes, intensely manifesting through this body. Let's merge yourself in oneness with Swamiji and chant the Mahavakya Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham intensely. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let's intense the Mahavakya. Let Paramashiva himself, Swamiji himself, reveal to our three eye.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Now, everyone can relax.
Om
You can slowly open your eyes.
Paramashivoham.
Relax. Now, you can pen down and also please do post in the Zoom chat what Swamiji have revealed to you. Whether it's any shapes, colors, whatever Swamiji have showed you during this power manifestation, from the moment you closed your eyes, please pen down all that. So before revealing the answers, before verifying the answers, let's take a moment. If the viewers watching us on the Facebook, YouTube lives, please post in the comment section as well. So all the participants are joining us having this two-way video conferencing, the Paramashivoham Level 3 program. Please use the Zoom chat. You can directly post what Swamiji have showed you during this power manifestation.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda.
Yes. So let us verify your answers now. So here is the square which was projected for you during this power manifestation. Maybe you have seen some colors. It also has a violet and also the blue, light blue. which was bordering the two sides of the square. So please do post how you are able to manifest the first round of the power manifestations. So with this, let us enter into the second round of the power manifestation. See, this whole 21 minutes of this power manifestation is too important because all of us have just finished the intense authentic yoga sessions. So our whole bio memory, the bio energy is too much awakened and aligned with the cosmic geometry. So it is the best time for us to manifest the powers. And if you are like beginners, if you are just now starting manifesting these powers, yesterday we had a wonderful initiation from the Paramashiva himself. So Swamiji himself have initiated into all of us into the third eye awakening. So yes, so let us use this to intensely fully participate in the segment of the powers. So let us enter into the second round now. So I request all of you to put the eye bands back. Make completely closed. There is should not be any holes or any lights. So yes, let's sit straight. Bring tremendous oneness. Drop all the incompletions, everything, just surrender at his feet. And just remember, Swamiji himself is sitting on your third eye and manifesting this power of third eye. With that complete oneness, chant the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda Paramashivoham. I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Relax. Open your eyes.
Om Nithyananda
Open your eyes now.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda.
So before verifying the answers, please do. If you have a pen and paper, please do write. First, write all the revelations Swamiji have given during this power manifestation segment. During this particular segment, the level 2. Please do write all the things what Swamiji have showed you, whether it may be colors, numbers, a scenario, pictures, or even how you felt during this power manifestation. Please do write that also. And if any of your participants are feeling that you're feeling any obstacles, are not able to manifest these powers, or like you have any questions, how to manifest, any obstacles, all that, please do post in the Zoom chats. And for the better experience, we recommend all the participants who are watching us on social media, please do join. Click the link via paramashivoham.org and join the segment so that acharyas can help you, guide you easily through the video conference, So yes, let's quickly post all the revelations which I have given you during this power manifestations. So yes, so now let's verify your answers now. So here you can see the picture which was projected on your screen, which is a circle which is illuminated by the red color. Yes. So now you can post. There are so many colors out there. If you just quickly deeply notice, there is a white circle, have a yellow, a red outer glow, I would say. Then there is a complete background. So circle, and there is a cloudy shape. So it's there are certain ways. There are initial ways Paramashiva start revealing, Swamiji start revealing in multiple ways. So let's have all that. Make sure you keep posting whatever you're manifesting, and even if you're facing any obstacles, please post that as well. So all the acharyas are third initial people, so we'll be able to scan and give you the solutions. So yes, with that, let us enter into the final round of today's first segment of our manifestation. Now again, we're going to have shapes, and let us prepare. Let's put your blindfolds back. Make sure it is completely tight. We may have a feeling like, oh no, I'm not going to open my eyes. So let's have completely foolproof way as well. Only if that complete darkness enters, then you will be able to see the third eye, and there won't be any doubts whether I'm seeing through my two eyes or naked eyes or something. There should not be any doubt we should carry inside. Just you should melt inside in oneness with the Swamiji. That is the key point to manifest the power. So yes, let us put our blindfolds back. Just remember Swamiji in your third eye. Just recall all the oneness moment. Wherever you felt that you and him are one and the same, just remember all that Swami Vannada moments, and let's intensely chant the Mahavakya. Let him reveal through your third eye. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Om
Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasadashiva. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
So before verifying the answers, let's quickly also pen down all the revelations given by the Swamiji during this power manifestation. Let's quickly post all the things which Swamiji have revealed to you during this power manifestation. Yes. While we are typing, let us also verify our answers now. So here you can see the triangle which was projected for you during this power manifestation. Same like previous ones, it all of luminosity. It has a blue, kind of white as well. Triangle. So now you can post, also share in your social media how you are able to manifest the 3 rounds of the power manifestation. Please do share with your friends and families. And if you are facing any obstacles, please do post that as well. Maybe you can use the platform, Zoom chats, to post your questions or any doubts, or if you're facing any obstacles during this power manifestation. So that way, not only for this segment, for every segment, Acharyas will be able to help you and make you manifest, help you manifest these powers. So yes, with this we'll be coming to the end of this day 3, the first segment of power manifestation. So now I'll be getting into the next segment, preparing ourselves throughout the day for Paramashivam Season 2, Day 3 segments. So yes, quickly I request all the participants to quickly finish your social media postings and let's get ready for the next segments. Thank you. Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Shivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.